Hello? Hello, do you hear me?
Hey, you're a little quiet.
I'm a little quiet. Oh, okay. Hold on.
Where the hell is the mic? Okay, everyone, shh.
Oh, that was crisp.
That was whoa. That was
I feel
good.
refreshed just hearing that. That was really
Oh
good.
my god,
Holy
yeah.
shit,
That's like in an ad, the kind of
That
ones
was
you hear.
positively amazing.
Noise.
That was the sweetest music to my ears.
Big
Coors
aluminum,
Light.
please. Yes, Coors Light, please sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
We need money.
Please report.
To buy more Coors Light.
We need to
Buy more Coors Light, yeah.
We have a serious addiction problem. Please help.
I honestly would.
You don't think we can just write characters like these while not drunk?
You think we're all sober? Huh.
Adorable.
Start
Genuinely.
on that.
Oh my god, it's been so long since I played D&D sober. I'm just thinking about it.
Oh no. My campaign's just that bad. You need to play it drunk.
D&D is a high honor.
Drunk D&D, yeah.
I think
Which means you
that
feel safe at least, I guess.
every time Ebb drinks a chain lightning, you should be forced
I
to
should be-
down
yeah.
a Red Bull.
You should do a
Oh
red.
my
No,
God.
you should do like a what's the energy drink mixed with alcohol, like a Four Loko? You just shotgun
Oh
a Four
god,
Loko.
no. I would do vodka Red Bulls, but I would not drink. I can't drink any more Four Locos in my lifetime.
Oh god,
There's.
I've never had one, so I can't really comment. But that's what I imagine chain lightning is like.
Yes. Exactly.
If any of you ever took like serious drugs, I don't think this would be the campaign to do it because I do a lot of nightmare and like scary imagery. So it'd be like that what's his name? God, why can't the guy who did Eric Andre skit where he's like somebody took acid and we just linked dongs around them and it went nightmare. Like that would be awesome.
It'd be horrible, but it could also be
Could be really
amazing
funny.
at the same time. You never know.
Maybe. I'm not going to try it on myself though. I'll try it on you, Brayden, if you'd like. But
Oh god.
you
Go
get
to
you
the-
absolutely zooted and just start screaming at you.
Just start screaming awful things at me? That doesn't sound pleasant. I don't know if I want to do that.
I could scream nice things like, "You're a very wonderful person."
Now that sounds really pleasant, actually. You can do that whenever you want, Sean.
Oh god.
Aggressively scream nice things at me, please.
That sounds horrible, I won't lie.
It sounds horrible to you.
That sounds horrible. Someone just following you around screaming at you.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's
it's a
like-
nice thing.
Not necessarily
Still.
like following you around, just like, popping out of the occasional bush and yeah, and then screaming nice things at you. Like, it's about feeling picked up and positive when you might not otherwise be feeling positive. Yeah.
All right, I know Cameron is talking about the beer, but it just came up as text in the corner of my screen, and I was like, 12 ounces of gay. I was like, it's Pride Month. All right, go
Yeah,
off.
it's
Hell
Cameron.
yeah.
Cameron walked into the bar and he saw someone. He's like, "Who's that tall drink of
Who's
gay?
that? Oh.
That
Who's
tall
that 12
cool
ounces?
Who's that tall 12 ounces of gay?" For reference, in case this is kept in.
Oh, it's
No, actually, you know what?
getting
Never
kept
mind.
in.
Okay, never mind. I'm actually not going to give contents then. Never.
It's better without context.
It is, yeah.
Cameron can try and salvage context if he wants, but
Oh, I'm so ready for the fight to be. I'm ready for the video to be uploaded. The fight is going to be great.
I am. I'm very excited. I've missed the last two other sessions, so I'm very excited to hear what's gone on.
I'm gonna give a slight teaser. Zan at some point gets turned into a shark.
I knew that.
That is excellent. I'm so fucking excited
I was reading the quote of the day, and I saw that, Zin, are you a willing creature? And I was like, oh my god, he's gonna try and turn him into something. Oh my god. And then all of the shark quotes came in, and I was like, God. And I had just watched Jaws, and it was perfect timing.
Excellent.
That would be really perfect if it was during Shark Week. I don't think it was, but
No, that's in August.
damn it.
So
Oh well,
disappointing.
I know. But it was a fun episode. I think everybody had fun. I think everybody enjoyed themselves for the most part. Speaking of, I put the most recent important character. I forget what I told. I forget. Reese, real quick. Do you remember what I said his nickname was? I keep doing this. There's so many characters to keep track of because I've got 2 sessions going. I keep forgetting everything.
I don't remember, but I want to go with Sissy.
No, it was definitely not Sissy. Nice try though.
Are you talking about the like Rhodian concept for accepting good and bad, or are you talking? I don't remember it.
I said okay. I'll just say it was Nasili. Beerus was the Minotaur from Rhodia. That was his name. I think he said most people just call me Nis, or Nili or something like that. I don't know. It's Nis or Nili. I'll just say that. You can call him Sissy if you want, if you would like.
I might try.
So we're going to get back into it because I know that it's a Friday night. Who gives a shit? We'll bring everybody back in. We're gonna go back through the clouds, flying along the glittering sea that is reflecting the starlight, passing by a Zin shark that is free-willing our guest player Will. Which nobody made that reference when that moment was happening. It was really I didn't want to be the one to make it, but
disappointing.
I know it was very disappointing.
What type of shark was in?
There was a long debate about that. I don't want to spoil it. So there was
Oh, good. That sounds very good.
I thought it
excited.
should be a cookie shark personally. I thought
Cookie cutter shark would be good, but they can cause nerve damage, which is kind of badass. I think basking shark is perfect.
Please tell me you didn't just reveal the type of shark.
I'm a big fan of the hammerhead because they have a funny head.
Just a whale shark. Opening the giant bottom feeder mouth and swallowing someone. Like Jonah style.
I know they're friendly, but I was telling Max about this, by the way, while we're still going through this and sidetracked. But one of those sharks that has the giant mouth, because I think there's this one, and then I think you said the basking shark also has like a giant mouth.
Basking sharks, megamouths, and whale sharks. And yeah, whale sharks and megamouths can eat people accidentally.
That's so fucking creepy.
That's my greatest fear. That's my greatest fear is a whale shark. I'm in the ocean doing something, I don't know what, and suddenly a whale shark.
Campaigning, obviously.
Did you guys
disappear? Yeah, campaigning.
Like 2 summers ago, the guy who was swallowed by a humpback whale for like a hot minute, or a right whale, and they got spit back out. Like he was just like in the mouth. It was off Cape Cod, maybe.
Oh God, I did not hear about that. That's crazy.
That's quite something.
I mean, experience of a lifetime. Very cool, I bet.
Not many people get to say like, I've been eaten by a whale.
I would also like to. If I was the whale, I would be mad because I was during social distancing, so I'd be like, "We're not cool." Bro.
Oh my God!
Like, bro, come on, 6 feet apart. God.
Yeah, exactly. He brushes his bristles after that. I will also say that I have thalassophobia, so if I was ever like in the deep dark water and a fucking whale shark or something, even if I knew it was like nice and friendly, if I had to watch its like gaping mouth come at me, I would just shit myself right then and there.
Yeah.
Bold choice underwater.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm gonna get back to it. Sorry. We glide over the glistening sea, Free Willy, all that, and we come upon a fortress that is slightly moving around, floating on tendrils of vine. That is a massive amalgamation of rock, vine, thorn, and some concrete. Yes.
Is this Alcatraz style, or is it like a big island with one building on it?
Alcarab style.
Okay, I'm not. How dare you, Max? So I'm not too familiar with Alcatraz. It's kind of a little bit of both, where there's like a little bit of unused land. That's kind of where you guys were thrown in. Is like.
Is it like the boiling rock minus the volcano?
Oh, I see. Like, no, the whole island isn't just the facility, but I mean, like, there's not a lot besides the facility, and the facility is massive. Like, this is an island size, but it's not like just the island is the facility.
It's like there's some bushes and trees here and there outside the facility, but like
It's
no
more like
islands or
it's
anything.
more like swamps and like not really swamp, but like like held water that's got
Yeah.
like some moss and algae in it, and like some vines that are growing up. It kind of looks more like a seabed almost, because there's like vines and what's it called?
Mangrove trees.
Yeah, why not? I like those, so I'll put those in there too. Also seaweed. So it looks like things kind of get mixed in. I know that's mixing. I know that's mixing different types of stuff, but they're saltwater mango trees or mangrove.
That's not what I have problems with.
Oh, just okay. I will get to that later. We're gonna fly into the cells on the long hallways, gliding through as we see shifting vines go about their duties and checking the halls for anyone. You see a couple of prisoners being hauled off to their cells, yelling and screaming. But for the most part, you're just quiet as the hours drag on. And we'll go back to Ebb real quick just to kind of check in. So she was read this bedtime story. She is now under a giant minotaur, which, by the way, I realized how much I was out of practice spelling that recently. I've been trying to write that in my notes, but I keep realizing I'm spelling it wrong, which just as a slight embarrassment. Who is now sitting on a slab of rock above you in a bunk bed situation, which you're maybe worried a little bit that it will hold his girth. And you read this creepy story. You realize that they have no qualms about keeping kids here for decades on end. And you realize, and you just saw something in the hallways that you thought you had left down in the under caverns. But what would you say Ebb is thinking about right now?
Fear. Just big bold letters. Fear. This is not a good place to be. Ebb does not like it. Like, she's clutching Rocco and Elmer. Or, I guess, Spirit Elmer.
Mm. No, Elmer's still there. You put him back in the piece of wood, so he's still there.
Okay.
He's undead now, technically.
Oh my god, amazing.
So he's slightly drier than he was when he was a what's it called?
He's like petrifying wood.
Yes, he's petrifying wood at the moment. Well, they are. We'll say they're at least pretending to snooze to try and comfort you. Rocco's going, and Elmer is going. Elmer does not know how people sleep, so he is just making random noises.
Oh my goodness.
And above you, you do hear a loud snoring from the Minotaur going. And it's quiet other than that. Does Ebb think about anything when she's afraid? Go to any happy place or scared place, I guess?
I feel like this is pretty close to Ebb's scared place. She's locked up somewhere. She's basically alone. And it's very dark.
Mm.
This is pretty much as scary as it gets. She's got some comfort, because she's got some little companions, but I think she's like on the verge of panic attacking.
Mm. Understandable. Okay. So you clutch your trinkets, your sentient trinkets, a little closer, and we'll zoom out a little bit and fly down the hallways to a other side of the wing, or block or cell. I kind of forget the exact terminology for prisons, but we'll say the other wing of the block. I'll say, because you guys are Canadian, so you don't even know if I'm being right on American prison terminology. So Aldris and Jens, you guys are put into the same cell. You saw your little bit of a granite countertop with some water that seems to go from a hole in the wall, like kind of like a spring water, and a granite toilet with a little bit of a divider that's there. And you guys are just kind of alone for the moment. The door closes behind you as one of the vines slams it shut, and Yeah, this is the first time Jens and Aldris have been alone together, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think we did this session we did the first time alone together last time, but I'll do a second one.
No, I mean, yes, you talked a little bit, but is there anything else you wanted to get out of the way before we went to sleep? I don't know.
You betcha.
Do you remember what you guys mentioned last time?
I talked about my experience as a doctor and how I got sent to here, and Jens talked about something that I don't remember because it was
probably the same thing.
Yeah.
If only the editors would hurry the hell up and post the replays.
Whoever is in charge of
Max,
audio.
No. Hold on, real quick. Max, you get a point for that one. But I was testing Braden, and I saw that he didn't know. So
Braden didn't know.
Exactly.
Braden is supporting 70 different offices at work and is very tired.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, back to the role play. My apologies.
No, it's you guys do that is. I guess, Jens, have you ever been in a prison like this? I mean, Aldris, you've kind of been in and out, I'm assuming, given your time in the.
So Jens has never, no. Short answer, no. But the other new thing Jens is going through is he's never actually met a necromancer before. They're very taboo in his culture, and he's pretty. He is disconnected from his culture, but he's never actually met one.
Do you think he's looking at Aldris with suspicion, or? Well,
Aldris has seemed like a pretty nice fellow so far, so there is a twinge of suspicion, but it's certainly been rubbed down from when they first met. Yes. Tell me, Aldris, your necromancy magic, I'm not very familiar with it. Do you bring people back from the dead? Can you give them a second life? Is that the power that you offer?
Yes. It's difficult, and it often requires a significant amount of energy, much more than it would require to simply raise a corpse. But I capture a soul before it departs the plane fully. I reconstitute any missing pieces, and essentially I shove it back in the body, which brings them back to life.
How easy is that of a ritual to do? That sounds very unnatural, if you don't mind me saying.
No, of course. It definitely requires a specialist. I would not recommend attempting the ritual on your own unless you understand the way that life and death function. And realistically, while I am backpedaling on the natural processes of life and death, I'm not... When someone raises a corpse, they circumvent the natural processes. Rather than life transferring into death and the death eventually transferring into life through fungal growth or bacterial growth or things like that, they essentially sidestep it. And at that point, you have something that is in the stage of new life that is still a corpse. What I do is I take the corpse position and I just crank it back so that they are alive again, at which point life can take a different path and they aren't necessarily going to die a second time.
So a second lease on life, that's not common. That's very, very uncommon by
I imagine it's fairly uncommon.
That is good.
Most of the time I can only really do it if I'm within a few minutes of the person's death. 10 minutes is the maximum to recover a soul generally.
Oh, good.
I do have the ability to revive someone who has been dead for longer, but that is much more taxing on my body, and I can only do it at most once a day.
Oh, that is not a lot at all. That's... Oh, do you know of any wizards or
there
sorcerers
are risks
or others
involved?
Who can?
Not many sorcerers and wizards. Most revival is done through faith healing. you see, and I don't exactly use those pathways. I much prefer to enervate a body with its original soul and either some of my own life force or life force freely given from other spirits in the area who wish to see these people saved, protected.
Well, that sounds quite nice, actually. Very much a cut out of the normal that necromancers of the stories that we hear. A very refreshing take on necromancy, I suppose. You'll forgive my questions, I hope. I'm not.
Oh, of course.
With necromancers, they're new to me.
Necromancy is it's a frightening art. So even when one is doing good, people are often afraid. They often feel that you have some sinister motive in mind. And so in a world that, as far as I can understand from context clues, has been rather scarred by necromancy, I bear no ill will towards those who ask me about it or are suspicious of me.
My people believe that death is absolute, and that
I mean, it isn't
necromancy-
eventually. It just doesn't have to be right now.
It's a funny way of looking at it. My people would say that death it is a welcome gift, and those who are taken from it are dealt a cruelty.
I generally agree. And my power does not tend to work on those who die of natural causes of old age. My abilities are specifically for people who die in horrendous accidents or in combat or of diseases that are incurable, things like that. I generally do not disturb the rest of those who have passed on peacefully.
I'd like you both to make a quick insight or history check.
Oh no.
I will do a history check. Is what I
I'm
will do.
equally bad, so I will do an insight check. Where's my d20?
I rolled a 16.
All right. Did you do history or insight?
I did history.
Okay. So you can kind of remember from your studies and being around the gang that something about this strikes you a little odd. Not that he's lying, but that you kind of can remember that you've seen in recent days people using some weird soul magic. Like Zin kind of has mentioned stuff, like they've used some stuff. And then you also remember that you've probably seen Ebb go into a weird spiritual form. But she also reincarnated your twig as, or sorry, splinter as something. So that kind of it reminds you that you've seen something that doesn't seem to be like necromancy, but might be tangentially related in Ebb's case.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 17 on insight.
17 on insight. While you're discussing this, you would remember that throughout your experiences, yes, you've been met with distrust and prejudice from most people that you've encountered. These two seem to be quite open-minded, and specifically, you do remember that you did see that Ebb reinfused Elmer back into his quote-unquote body, which you did mention that was quite a surprise, and that she had good attunement to that. But
Well,
you would find it.
What's especially surprising about your friend, for instance, is that they can seemingly crystallize a soul on instinct.
Mm-hmm. I did find that to be right interesting, especially because the soul they crystallized was one created entirely by magic. It was an artificial mind.
I wonder whether I can do that. That's an interesting case study. I must try it at some point.
It's a technique that I've been working on for a long time, but I'd be happy to. Maybe we could change notes once we're out of prison.
Sounds wonderful.
First, maybe that's I think an after getting out of prison step. But maybe we should turn to the more important question. But how the hell are we going to get out of here? Because I'm going to be honest, Aldris, I do not want to spend the rest of my life in here.
I haven't given it much thought, honestly, apart from, situations will present themselves, opportunities will appear. I imagine this place needs to be stocked, even if this place has, for instance, a farm and it grows its own food. Guards, uniforms, weapons, materials such as that, prisoner transport, it must occur. So there must be ships that come to this island or leave it. Yeah.
We can't hear somehow.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna
to
switch
be
my
honest, I haven't put too much thought into the whole escaping thing.
You know, I happen to know someone who is quite good at escaping. She's actually here right now, just in a very different cell. And as it happens, because she has my rock, I can't actually give her a quick phone call with the old telepathic telephone, you know. So let me go and say hello and see if she's got any ideas.
Hold on real quick. Let me change mics. I'll be right back.
Okay. While he's changing bikes, I'm gonna go ahead and use my archivist telepathy and give Eb a ring. Hello, Eb.
You didn't
Eb,
say that.
this is your conscience speaking.
Not now, Rocco.
No, I'm joking. It's not Rocco. It's Jens.
Jens?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, Rocco, on top of being a rock, is also a magic telephone.
Eb puts Rocco down. She had picked him up like a... Hello?
Are you all right? Are you safe?
Yeah. She kind of unclenches a little bit. I have a roommate, which is interesting. They've been here a long time.
That's
but
good. You've made a friend. Very nice. Have you listen, I know you are particularly wise and wily with getting in and out of things that are not supposed to be got in and out of. Have you given any thought to getting the hell out of this awful, awful prison?
Eb, she's got a huge ego. This is great. Immediate demeanor shift. Well, have been called the sneakiest sneak.
That's quite the compliment.
All right. I was You're right. We have a whole task at hand. We can't stay here. We're not going to stay here. Obviously not. No, we got. All right. First, we have to figure out more about the prison, because if we don't know where we are, we can't make a plan. And then we need to take stock of what we have and what we can get. To build what we can do. Then we need to figure out about these vines, because the guards don't really seem like they do a lot.
Yeah,
I think we have to worry about the vines.
The vines are the problem. Do you think your roommate would know about getting things?
Yeah. I'll ask. I'll find out.
Aldris and I can maybe start experimenting on the vines and see if there's not something we can figure out about them.
Oh my shit!
Is that thunder?
Yeah, could you guys hear that? I was counting. I was counting from the lightning, and it was 3 seconds. So it's like on top of my house.
Thematically appropriate nature.
Yeah, exactly. And as you guys are discussing that, the line clicks dead. Actually, and
that doesn't sound good.
That Eb?
Hello? Rocco, do the thing.
The number you are trying to call is no longer connected. Is that what you're talking about? Oh no, sorry. This one. We've been trying to reach you about your carriage's extended warranty.
Rocco, no.
If you'd like to talk to an agent.
Rocco.
No,
I think I've lost her. I think we've been disconnected. This is not ideal.
Probably something that's interfering with magical communication within the prison. I imagine that would mean teleporting out is not an option either.
Mm-hmm. So it would seem. I think the trick is figuring out what makes these vines stick and if we can get through them somehow. And then, of course, it's only a question of all the guards.
Well, the vines shouldn't be too much of a problem. Necromancy tends to make quick work of even magical plant life. It's simply that there seems to be an infinite number of them, which is the real issue. We can probably punch through a few walls pretty easily. It's the chase afterwards that I'm more worried about.
We don't know how many guards there are here either.
True. But I imagine most of them are not as well trained as guards in any other large prison would be. This seems to be mostly an automated environment.
That's true. That's a good point. Maybe we can figure something out once we're through. Probably sneak our way past the unsuspecting fellows. But maybe that's consideration for tomorrow. I don't think we'll get much done in this cell.
I'm going to spend some time. I don't think I can do this on other people. Let me check. I'm going to be. Yes, I can only cast this on myself, but I am going to be setting up some contingency plans in case the worst happens.
Right, well, that's a happy thought. Enjoy. I'm going to bed.
So I'm going to spend 10 minutes casting the spell Contingency, which lets me set a spell and put activation triggers, and then the spell targets me when those triggers happen. And I'm setting Revivify, and it triggers if I die.
That's a pretty cool spell. I forgot that was. I honestly need to familiarize myself with the spell book. So that works. Do you have any specific? Does Aldris have a specific way that he likes to cast spells? Generally, I know that like the rule book has somatic. No, wait, sorry.
Somatic, verbal,
somatic,
and material components.
Yeah, somatic. Sorry. Do you have? But I generally don't. Require those specifically. So, like, if you have a way you want to flavorify your spell casting, feel free.
Yeah. Essentially, Aldris reaches. They go into a meditative trance, or at least that's what they call it. The minute they're in the pose, you just hear, like, just from off in the corner, and they reach out to one of the several spirits in the room, and in exchange for the way Aldris makes deals with spirits is basically he carries on their stories inside of himself in exchange for their power. So in exchange for like knowing one of their stories and telling it to other people so that they aren't forgotten, when the time comes, they'll bring them back essentially. And so they bind it to their left arm, their metal arm.
Pretty cool. So you all have you go to sleep. You've talked it out. You've gotten a little bit of determination for tomorrow, but it's still been a bit of a jarring few days. I mean, it's only been like 2 or 3 since you've been kidnapped, as far as you're aware. And the world turns for a little bit, or I should be careful saying that for when Cameron listens, because he's going to start taking that as physics implications. But no, it's just the sun goes down, the moon travels across the sky, and you're able to get some rest on a fitful sleep on these hard slabs of stone and itchy mats of straw. It's not very great. Depending on your your spinal alignment, you're going to wake up with a little bit of a backache. But Eb, you wake up to hearing a kind of a tapping, a dinging at the gate, or sorry, not the gate, the cell bars, and you hear nearly time to get up for morning prayer. All right. Nilly lazily rolls off bed and falls onto the floor with his hooves, creating like a massive shockwave that jumps you up from your bed, and then slams you back down. If you look up, you can see that there is a dwarf paladin of the Church of Purity standing at the cell doors.
Are you going to church?
Oh, all right. It's the first time I'm waking up with somebody actually here. Before he can say much more, you can see that the paladin looks at you and his eyes widen a bit. He's like, Nilly, they finally found someone who was small enough to be in the cell with you, eh? Nice to meet you, little one. It seems that my friend here can finally learn some manners. And he walks over. I am Gronson, local paladin and representative of the church at Scarthorn. And you can see that Nilly is going over to his little cubby that he's etched out, and he grabs what looks to be a necklace of wings. That is a common identifier for somebody who follows the Church of Purity. And he is going to say, would you like to join us for church?
Yes. And Eb gets up.
He smiles at you. He's like, great. It's always good to have another person. You see that his eyes. Well, actually, tell you what. Roll me perception real quick.
A 9.
You don't see much about him, but you do notice one thing, that he does seem to be a kind person, and you notice that his eyes don't even dart down to look at your wrist to see what your sin was. He just looks at you, and he seems to genuinely be inviting you to church. He says, well, feel free to use let me dig in here. You see, digs into his cloak, and he pulls out a little like travel kit of toiletries. He's like, they're not usually great about giving these out, so I take it upon myself to give these to the new inmates who come by. And he hands it to you. It's got a toothbrush, some like what look like baking soda teeth powder, a few like a loofah, like a mini loofah, and things like that, and like a small bar of soap.
Nice.
And he's like, yeah, I'll let you freshen up in the morning, as I'm sure you want to do. I'll come back in about 5 minutes when you and Nilly are ready. Yeah. Nilly grunts back. He's already brushed his teeth, and he's starting to put on his he puts on this massive kind of gray burlap kind of looking rough cloth patched together. It seems to be multiple uniforms put together of this kind of gray prison uniform. And it's just his upper half, and even then it looks like it's like 3 or 4 minimum that have been sewn together to try and go over his bulk. And he opens up the Rhodian stories and starts reading while he waits for you.
Eb really quickly brushes her teeth, and kind of like sniffs the soap a little bit. She's still uncertain about soap, but she cleans her face, she washes her hands, runs some water through her hair. She goes to like grab her comb, and like does the whole action of flicking it open, and then it's just like she gets really sad again.
Oh yeah, he doesn't. It doesn't give you compliments as you flick it out. It's really hurting the mental state. Roll me a quick survival check, actually.
Oh no. 5.
You fail to bathe and drown.
No.
Eb eats the whole bar of soap.
I mean, we could have that whole moment where it's like he's like, yeah. Nilly's like, what are you staring at it for? It's just animal fat and lye together.
What I Eb like goes to take a bite of it.
No, not that kind of animal fat. No, and he's like, oh my god. He goes over and he's like, I don't want to take someone unfit to church, although I'm hardly one to speak. He gestures to his like unkemptness, and he's like, okay. He grabs the brush and he brushes out your hair a little bit. He's like, oh my gosh, there's so much oil in here. It's like drips onto the floor. What is all of this?
Eb's hair is like slicked back in the classic vampire.
Looks like Bela Lugosi's haircut. Did you just snort?
No. Yeah.
We'll say that's Nilly right there. Nilly was snorting at you.
We're good now.
Okay. Nilly's like, okay. I guess that looks. He's gonna be like, okay. He's gonna grab your hands. He's going to be like, soap is used like this. He grabs your hand, he puts the bar of soap under the water that's coming up from the spring, and he rubs it against your hand pretty hard. He's like, get over here.
Like any cat introduced to water, Eb is viciously trying to get out of it.
All right, give me a quick strength check.
She's like wriggling around. Oh, 13.
All right, let me God, let me
I
see
feel like I should get surprised because like all of a sudden like Eb goes from like curious to like, oh fuck no.
All right, well here, let me roll for Nilly and then I'll think about it. Sorry, I need to pull up roll dice.
Oh my god, this is her H2O arc.
Clea, oh god.
Can't wait for her to turn into a mermaid.
She can't touch water. Yeah, that's why.
Cleo.
No, don't go in the water.
Cleo, don't go in the water.
No. Clear.
Oh god, I watched that like a few times when I was sick from school and I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
It's so good.
It's amazing. Thank you.
I
I drink water out of the straw.
I know. Oh my god, that show is.
Yeah, what happens on like a really humid day? So she just like
they answered this. You get turned into a mermaid.
Yeah, you get turned into a mermaid.
Oh, I would love to see the shitty like daytime television where they did that. It's like they probably did it really dramatic.
They boiled themselves to say they had a fever and couldn't go to school when it was raining.
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh my, that's so dark. Oh my god. I thought I was gonna say it's like humidity. Oh no, the humidity, Cleo. It's over.
The humidity. Oh no.
No.
You need to go on.
God. All right. Well, to go back to real quickly, Nilly, a little bit of the oil had dropped onto his hands, and you're able to slip out of his grasp as he's trying to hold on. He's like, "Gosh, angels, darn it!" Or angels, darn it. Oh God, I'm getting bad with remembering voices. He's like, "All right, fine. We're gonna be late." He tosses you a burlap towel and he's like, just clean your hands and of the soap that's on them and we'll go, okay?
Okay, fine, whatever, sure. Yeah. Eb's acting like a normal child again. She goes and she kind of washes her hands, kind of skimps on it, and then like runs the towel through her hair furiously. It comes off kind of damp.
It comes off completely black.
She does the like lean forward, lean back, and whip your hair up. She goes, "I'm ready."
I'm gonna need. Nilly is like, I'm gonna need purifying after all of that. After looks at his hand, he's like, ugh. Starts like trying to flick it out. Okay, let's go. He goes to the Paladin Groner. Gronson.
Yeah, Gronson.
There we go. Let me put that in important people real quick. Emissary to Scarthorn. There we go. So what? That's funny. Okay, so you guys start passing. Gronson is being a bit, he's just whistling and seems to be having a good day. Seems to be a morning person. Nilly is just kind of staring ahead. He's twiddling with his necklace a little bit, fidgeting with it, and he is just staring ahead, occasionally checking to make sure you're still following them. What do you think you're acting like, Eb?
Eb is following. She's got a purpose. She's using this time outside to like covertly survey her surroundings. Like, are they in like a giant box hallway? Is it a bunch of smaller hallways? Like, is she passing stuff like that? Like, are there a bunch of cells, or is it just like empty space and occasionally a cell? So she's doing a little bit of reconnaissance.
So it seems that you notice that occasionally hallways will open up and will close depending on guards going in and out of them. But for the most part, you're able to kind of tell that it seems like there is a holding area where there's a bunch of cells kind of isolated from each other in like a weird maze formation that leads into one hallway. And then that hallway goes down into where there's a kind of intersection where it's like it's like in that T formation that you had on the Goldblum ship, where one way leads back to where you can kind of remember from when the vine snatched you, leads into the circular cafeteria, and then the other way seems to lead into more cells. They start taking you back toward the cafeteria, and they turn right a little bit. Gron kneels down in front of a stone slab and seems to be praying for a second, and then opens up into a kind of not secret, but like carved into stone side chapel. And there's about 4 pews, 2 on each side, and a little lectern for sermonizing. Along with a single stone statue of what looks to be some kind of saint that's in armor. You might be able to tell, it looks like it's an Azamar with the same cheek thingies that Zin has. There's nobody else at the moment who is inside.
Eb's not been in a lot of churches, so she's gonna take lead from the other 2. But she's also looking around in here, notices there's only the 4 pews, which means like a bunch of people wouldn't fit in here. So either there's not a lot of people in the prison, or not a lot of people are religious.
Lily looks to you and he goes, "It's not a long service. If you don't want to pray, you don't have to. You can just sit in silence while I do my thing. Be nice to Gronson, okay? Don't take advantage of his kindness." And he goes to sit down. He gestures for you to sit wherever you'd like. Gronson's kneeling in front of the altar. As soon as Neely goes to sit down, he immediately upends the front pew as he sits in the back one, and it's like a little awkward. It's off. He just doesn't even bother fixing it. And he just starts to look like he's staring ahead, thinking about something.
Eb sits on the other pews because the seesaw does not look fun right now. And she sits down, and because neither of them are really looking at her, she's studying the statue. Because there doesn't seem to be a lot in the church, but they have this big stone statue that's pretty detailed. It's got the little cheek markers. And something about it is really familiar to Eb, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, so with the given information, I'll let you. Do you want to make like an intelligence, history, arcana, religion check to see if you recognize that it's an Azamar? Or do you want to just say Eb wouldn't know what that is and kind of just trying to mull it over in her mind?
I I think Eb recognizes it looks a bit like Zin, and knowing that this is a church and Zin is, as she's learned, as a martini, she and as Moni as Morner, Afsnerfner, it's something with an A. She knows he's something special, a real pain in the butt, special pain in the butt, but something about the statue is bugging her. So maybe I will roll, I guess, history. Yeah. Or religion. I'll roll religion.
Either's good.
A 10.
Sorry, it took me a second to unmute myself. So you're I think aware enough that your mind flashes to Zin at least, and I want this all to kind of come rushing back to Ebb in 1 second, or in this one moment for a bit, because I don't think that we really had a quiet moment to contemplate. So I want to see what comes to her mind, where she's alone, she's scared and vulnerable. Things are kind of piling on, and one stress after another. And I just want her to think of first Zin, and you're thinking of Zin, you're reminded of him. And then second, what do you think about Zin's relationship to the church? Because you never really talked to him about it. You never asked him what his feelings on it were. I mean, he made it pretty evident, sure, but you never asked why he was so into it. You never... It's something that I think Ebb hasn't really interacted with when he's not around, so maybe I want to see what Ebb thinks about now that she has to deal with it without him and is encountering it in a big way. So first, you're reminded of Zin very quickly, and then you're realizing that this is the church that he cares so much about, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah. Ebb knows jack shit about the church. She knows it's a big deal. She knows in the hand it was always becoming a sort of nuisance, but only the higher-ups would go after people in the church if it ever needed to happen. Like, it was like a big deal if something like that went on. Thinking about traveling with Zin. I don't know, the few times they've been in a church, it was when he got his chain, but he didn't seem more holy or spiritual when they were in the building. He honestly doesn't often seem to be like... She kind of looks at Nissy like he doesn't... She's never seen him like go down and pray like that somewhere. She's always kind of thought of the church as like something that's tied to Zin by a really thin string. Like, she knows it's there, and he's always like, oh, the church, blah, 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 angels, something, something. But it was a whole separate entity, because it was never around, and it wasn't really a presence she noticed was Zin. Besides, like, making him entitled.
Ooh, burn.
Burn on Zin. Ooh.
Burn so bad, you're gonna need a greater restoration for that. Ooh. But yeah, so interesting. As you're kind of thinking about all that, you're realizing that the person up there bears a striking resemblance to Zin. And might be one of those things he's always talking about, but you don't exactly remember what. Zin and Lear. It kind of reminds you of Zin and Lear, but who knows what that means. You are able to... hold on 1 second.
Guys, I'm killing it in quote of the day. It's all me.
I
It's
know.
a very good Ebb session for
We're
Grog.
not
very,
pulling
very
our
strong
weight. Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
100% Deb.
You couldn't even try to be this funny.
I'll answer this question out loud real quick. It reminds you of Zin and Lear because it's got the Oh, sorry, I misinterpreted your question. Shit. Basically, it looks like both of them because of the patch thingies on its cheek, or their cheek, but it bears a striking resemblance to Lear, but it definitely isn't him. That's as much as you can tell. As you're kind of lost in thought about this, you are able to kind of hear somebody clearing your throat, and you look up and you see Gronson starting to clear his throat and is at the lectern. He says, "Now, I'm glad everybody could join me today. I know that it was quite a rush getting in here. I hope everybody was able to get a seat." Says, gesturing around to everybody. And unfortunately, just due to too many inquiries, we're going to have to stop doing our personalized one-on-one sessions right after mass. Just too much too many requests, too much interest. So unfortunately, we're going to have to just cancel everything. We'll have to get another maybe one or two paladins from my order over here to help, but I don't know. It might not be enough. You can see that Nissi kind of rolls his eyes and groans, as this seems like a joke that has been said many times. Gronson just grins and leans forward on his elbows and forearms, which is a very odd sight for a dwarf. He's kind of on his tiptoes for a second there. He says, "No, but beyond my wonderful preaching and proselytizing skills, I think it's time we talk about something important. And that's what I think it's what we're all here to talk about, really, is just who are we at the end of the day? Are we people? Are we sinners? Are we paladins and saints?" He points up to the statue. What makes up a person? Is it their sins? Is it their good deeds? Is it a reward for whatever afterlife they're going toward? Or is it the choices they made? Are some souls born good or some born evil? And honestly, I ask the angels that every day, and I wonder what that means. And if either of you have got the answer, please feel free. I could use the help. He kind of like smiles and looks at either of you. No? Well, fair enough. I had to try. But having been here for a while and with my own past, I'm always fond of the saying that, every preacher has a past and every sinner a future. And I really believe that. I believe it with all my heart, because I think that of all the people I've met, I think each one of them had a good heart. It's just the world didn't always give them a chance to show it. And I don't think we're our sins. I think we're whatever our next choice is. And I think coming here today for some of you was maybe a step in the right direction to becoming what you were truly meant to be. But either that, it was just a step towards the mess hall and you just got lost. It's back there. I don't know if you're going to like what they're serving this morning, but I'll be eating there with you. Don't worry. But enough of the boring speeches. I want to just thank you both for coming, as always, Nissi, and our new friend. It means a lot to me that you're here, and I want to let you know that you're not alone. Thank you. Nissi seems to be lost in thought, and he closes his eyes in silent prayer. And Gronson comes over and sits next to you. And he says, "Yes, normally this is silent prayer for contemplating our mistakes. But I figured if you had any questions or anything like that, now would be a good time. I'll be quiet just to not disturb Nissy.
Oh, yeah, actually. I know there's a difference between saints and angels, but why is it here, in this very dark place, you choose to worship a saint over an angel who I always thought of as like this big glowing something?
Well, you see, that's a very interesting question. Very observant. He points to the statue and he goes, "That is Saint Lycia. They were. It's. Hold on. Saint Lycia. Do you know where you are right now in terms of did Nissi explain what this place was before?
It was something of Rhodia, right?
Yes, and in Rhodia there is a lot of druids, and at one point a very evil druid queen tried to take over the country and was stopped partially by the church, our church, and Saint Lycia was one of them. Now, we venerate saints because we believe that they are shining examples of people who have gotten close, or as close as one can, to a state of purity like the angels. And it's actually not general for us. There have been some religious arguments, but we generally don't represent the angels in any sort of artwork because to do so would to taint their perfect forms with a representation of imperfect art. So we follow the examples of the saints as we strive to be what the angels want us to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, Saint Lycia cleansed this area of the evil that was here?
Yes. She was able to save a lot of people, and we honor her for doing her duty in protecting the weak and purging the evil that was here, by remembering her and trying to follow her example. And in her honor, this place that is still cursed with the sin of past, we are continually trying to cleanse it of that curse. And in sort of a, I guess, ironic, poetic, whatever you want to view it as, way, we put people here who we try and rehabilitate. Maybe that if we can cleanse their sins and make them focus on the better versions of themselves, we can cleanse this place fully of its past sin.
Was it just being born from druidic dark magic that this place... I mean, no doubt this place is creepy, but what do we know what this sin is? What made this place like that?
He sighs a little bit and he says, "Can I be honest with you?"
Yeah, I'd prefer it.
Good. Well, I don't fully know, and sometimes I don't always believe. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not really the clean paladin that a lot of people imagine somebody who's part of the Church of Purity. I had my mistakes in my past, and I came here to try and be somebody better as well, because I thought maybe if I could help those without a future, I would learn to find my own. And in doing so, I learned a lot about this place. I studied up, and the church says that for her pride of hubris and wrath and trying to consume the souls of many, trying to just take over her country, maybe the world, that the angel struck her down for her sin and cursed her to forever be attached to this rock. But since I've been here, I've not found any evidence of that, and I really don't know what the definitive thing is. If you'd be curious, there is a rumor that you'll probably hear, so I don't mind telling you that there is a thorn heart, as they call it, that seems to be where the vines all meet, somewhere deep in the rock of this place, that might hold some answers as to what caused it. But the vines have been around for over 1,000 years at this point.
So the vines were a person. They were the queen? Whoa.
That's what some people think. They think it was her spirit. They think it's a curse she left after she cursed the living to forever deal with her mess when she was dying. And some think that this is something by angels or other religions where they struck her down and had Scarthorn as a forever example to those who would trespass against the laws of nature. I mean, that's where it gets its name. It's got a bit different in Rhodian, as I'm led to believe, but I'm originally Tempelonian. But Scarthorn was made to represent from the Rhodian name, where it was a scar on nature, and Thorn just came naturally. It's apparently sounds much more beautiful in Rhodian, but I would not pretend to butcher it.
Can I roll like deep gut instinct or something to see if Ebb can like know what it would be in Rhodian?
Sure. Tell you
Like
what.
just
Roll.
like deep memory.
I guess you can roll. I'll let you roll Arcana, History, Insight, or let's do one of those three. You can choose one of those three.
Arcana. Whoop. 7.
Why don't you tell us what you think? Let's just say that Ebb has a name pops in her head that sounds like a Rhodian name that you think is it.
Okay, so I would like to preface with I know very few Rhodian words. Me being Reese, not Ebb. So I apologize in advance.
Well, I mean, you invented really the only other word that I've had in canon so far, which is Lazarus. So if you want to go with I guess would Lazarus be the Latin name for the place in, or is that?
I was just naming it off of the
Levantine?
Lazarus pit.
Yeah,
like
but
the
Lazarus
Fountain of
was
Youth.
a place, right? I thought Lazarus was a place that was the Roman. There was like the Latinized name because the Romans had it under control at the time, or maybe I'm misremembering it. Of the story, but maybe I'm wrong. I forget. Is that Old Testament or New Testament? The Lazarus story. Or were you
think I
making
would
it
know?
from the... Well, you're a classics major. I know that you're not. I know that you're not a. Not that doesn't mean you study theology, but I figured that you would know about places that maybe the Romans conquered.
I'm thinking about Lazarus because of Red Hood.
Oh my god! I was gonna ask if you were using the Lazarus Pit from fucking DC Comics instead, but I was like, no way, she was talking about that.
Like I know it's based on a real myth, but I learned about the Lazarus Pit in DC first.
Oh my god!
So that's what I was modeling it off of.
No. I mean, the thing is, though, is that I originally, that's where I learned of it too, and then I just was like, oh, she must be talking about like the original legend. So I went and read up on the original legend, so I would be like, oh, because Reese really likes like myths and legends and stuff like that. So I should make sure I know what Lazarus actually is.
My heart, but I barely know what it actually is. I've been a liar this whole time. All of my information is from Percy Jackson.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't even know if it's. I forget what culture. I'm pretty sure it's biblical. I thought, and I thought like the
biblical.
whole. Yeah, okay.
I do think it probably comes from a Latin root, but I won't waste time discussing it now.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I won't do that too much, but yes. Also, there's no way that your only source of Greek mythology is from Percy
Yeah, no,
Jackson. Don't lie.
that's BS, but that'd be funny if it was.
That would be funny. I fucking love Percy Jackson. Guy's still making books. Anyway, so yeah, what is for all this amble or wait, a preamble. What is the word that jumps to Ab's mind that I will not say is or is not the correct Rhodian pronunciation of Scarthorn?
One moment. Pretty sure I'm gonna go with
Brandon's just been sending me a bunch of fucking different translations for Scarthorn in different languages.
I don't know if you have a name or not. I was just firing off some suggestions in case to save you some improvising. Jeez.
I appreciate that. No, I'm just like, because I'm on my phone, so I can't see it, and I'm like, why do I have 8 messages from Brandon? And I was like, oh, look, it's like a bunch of different Scarthorns. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm gonna keep sending you some until I run out of language.
I think I'm gonna say just like Skaith, like Skaith, because then like if you translate it to a different language, it could become Skaiththorn. Like if you're just saying it.
He's gonna say that. I mean, that could be right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the name. He's like Nissi. Oh wait, no, wait. He's praying. We'll ask him later. Maybe I think he knows. I don't always. He'll be like, oh yeah, just speaking of, if you could keep an eye on Nissi. He's he puts on a tough front, but he's more fragile than he lets on. It's, nothing. Go back to prayer. I'm your spiritual guide.
Eb kind of like giggles a little bit. She's acting more like herself. She's also learning a lot of really good information. Wow, sorry, I just tried to read Soph's text.
Well, Gronson is going to just pat you on the shoulder and he's going to be like, well, I'll let you go back to quiet meditation if you'd like. And he's going to go back and he's going to kneel in front of the statue for a little bit as Nissi and Bronson start praying, or both kind of in deep meditation prayer, whatever you want to call it. After this little talk and that little lecture, what do you think Eb does?
Eb stares like directly in the face of the saint. And she's thinking about the creation story that the church has about this prison. And something about it doesn't sit right with her, like being Rhodian and remembering the story she heard last night and like scrapping together ones she's sure she's heard from her parents. Just something about it seems off, but the idea that maybe the vines and thorns are from the spirit or the soul of the deceased woman, Eb's got a little spark of hope. She maybe has an idea about how to make a map of the maze.
Yeah, and like, history would never tarnish the reputation of, a powerful woman. Never.
Yes, of course.
I'm not giving any guarantees. For all you know, she was a complete asshole, though. I'll say that that's still very much on the table. But who knows? Maybe she was like Alexandria, and everybody just calls her ugly and stuff like that because they don't want her to be cool.
Do you mean Cleopatra?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Cleopatra, not Alexandria. That was a different queen.
Bitch.
Alexandria is a city.
Shut up. It's also a person. I'm sure there's a Queen Alexandria at some point.
No, there is an Alexander for whom Alexandria is named.
Okay, that doesn't mean that there's only one name and it can be only female or male, okay? There are like 14 Louis. I'm sure there was an Alexandria somewhere.
There were 16 Louis, you uncivilized swine. Come on.
Yeah,
I don't count 2 of them. They weren't people to me. The first and the last, they sucked. Anyway.
I'm not naming any names, but 2 of those Louis were just jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, probably. So anyway, just like I don't count, like just like Napoleon III is not actually a Napoleon. Like, come on. Anyway, to get back to the discussion, yeah, does Eb have any sort of, in this quiet moment, in this quiet place after she's thinking about the history, does she think inwardly at all, or do you think she's just consumed with the idea of how to get out of here? Did the speech mean anything to her?
I mean, it was. She is thinking about good and evil, but she's also kind of thinking about, like, Gronson really seems to like this idea of the church, and Nissi, although rough exterior, is taking it very seriously compared to Gronson, whose life is the church. And it's very different from Zin and Cyril. Ab actually thinks about the bee god. She thinks, like, wait, if that's my religion, am I doing it wrong?
Is that your religion? Do you pray to the bee god in this moment?
Eb really thinks about it.
Interesting.
And she remembers the cool cat. And she has a real moment of panic where she's like, oh no. Like, indebted to two different... God, I can't pick. So she's in this moment of panic, like...
between so many places.
Yeah. Panic about, like, who should she pray to? So, instead of picking anyone specific, I feel like Eb just kind of closes her eyes and thinks, like, I really hope Cyril's okay.
Aw, that's sweet. Aldris and Jens, your cell opens, and one of the vines beckons you, and then says, says, "Come here," and then points down the hall toward the intersection, the T, where you can go to either cell block, and then to the what's it called, the cafeteria.
Well,
and then
Might
it
as well
leaves.
go.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry, and I don't want to start antagonizing this place yet, at least.
Yeah, let's not make the plants angry.
I then immediately cast Disintegrate on the vine. No.
All right,
I'll
do
punching
that
my
with
way
one
through.
part of this campaign. I'm not going to deal with two of you disintegrating motherfuckers.
Hey,
That's
I
right.
have mine legally.
Yeah, I know. Listen, Cameron, if you're listening to this, I'm going to chop your balls off later for that one.
Ooh. It's
I'm gonna
getting hot in
disintegrate them.
here.
My God.
What is wrong with you, Reese? Why is all this? It's like the most minor thing, an interaction between two people, and you're like, "Oh my god!"
Like, oh my god!
You just said I'm gonna chop your balls off to someone who isn't here. That is
I don't know. You're
inherently
thinking about
spicy.
his balls when he's not here, Sean.
What is
That's all I'm
wrong with
saying.
you guys?
Yeah,
Why are you thinking
of
about his balls when
Cameron's
he's not
balls?
here?
Yeah,
Why was your first
why
thought
are-
when you were like,
Well,
"Oh,
okay, what
Cameron, I'm
this
gonna
not
hurt
part of-
Cameron"? You know what's gonna hurt him? Chopping off his balls. Because I was thinking about his balls, and I could probably chop them off. Like I could get.
Oh,
near
Cameron's
them.
gonna have a lot of fun editing this. I can already tell. Also, what you don't say nice
I
balls,
feel like
bro,
I
to
might
your
want to cut
friends in
this part
Canada?
out.
I feel like
don't
you
wanna
need
say-
to keep the ball talk in.
Okay, somebody put that out of context.
Wait, you don't like ball talk?
I
Listen,
don't have any problems with
Listen,
ball
Reese,
talk,
you wouldn't
personally.
understand this, all right? Because you don't
Plenty
know
of my
the...
friends do ball talk.
Yeah, listen, Reese, you wouldn't get it, all right? You don't have
You're right. I just
epic
have dick.
highs
I'm so
and lows
sorry.
of bro on bro ball talk, okay? You've never said nice balls to your bro and actually
I'm sorry.
got it back in return.
I've only ever had a dick. I've never had balls.
Yeah, listen, don't you ever pretend to know what we go through. That is our culture, and I will not hear the end, or I will. This will be the end of it, okay?
Okay.
Oh my god, Brayden and Max are like fucking dying.
To future
over there,
Cameron, bleep this out.
Redacted.
Oh,
I'm the one who bleeps things.
bleep all of this out, please, Max.
Oh
Please,
my
Max.
god! I will say, yeah,
Tangent. We were going to get breakfast.
yeah. I will say that the whole line earlier, even I didn't get that. I thought you were just making a very raunchy joke. I'll
No,
be
I'm
perfectly
always-
honest. Okay, all right. I don't even hear what you just said, and I don't want to. All right, let's move on here.
Let's go get breakfast, Aldris.
Yes, let's. I love breakfast.
Nice
There
balls,
it is
Aldrich.
for breakfast, Sean. Please, for the love of God.
I'd kill myself, but then my revivify would go off.
The D&D game just takes a really dark turn where Jens wakes up and Aldrich is just swinging from the top of the cell. It's just like he's like, I couldn't take the ball talk anymore. I'm sorry, Jens. I had to get out of there. Oh my god. Okay. All right. You guys are walking along the cell. You notice the same thing that Eb did where
Maze, T intersection, maze of other cells, and then a corridor towards the mess hall area.
yeah, pretty much. Cameron's balls. God. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think Brayden's broken down. Okay.
This is an amazing
So-
session.
This is such an accursed session.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
great. It's
yeah.
extremely funny.
Okay, so enough of that.
What? So no
And now
balls?
onto something completely different.
Different, yeah. So okay, no. I'm gonna stop. Whew. Okay, so you guys are going to that. You go through the maze. You get to the T section. You take a right to go to the mess hall. And then you see on the right that the little panel is opened up to the chapel in the wall with the statue. You see Nissi, who initially I was calling Nilly, but I think that
Yeah.
Eb called him Nissi, so I'm just going to change it to that for all those who are listening past. Any anachronisms, I generally just change my shit to whatever seems to be the most convenient for my players, and if it sticks, that's fine. And so you see these three. What do you guys want to do?
2 puppies. Are they eating pasta?
Oh, those are very nice dogs.
Oh, I thought it was Lady
They're
in the
getting
Tramp
their
style.
treats. No, that's my headphones.
Yeah, that's
Oh no,
Oh.
I wish. They're
After
not
the
allowed to have
incident.
pasta.
After the
Sorry,
incident.
not to derail us again. I just wanted to share.
I don't think I'm gonna stop people praying. Like if they're doing their thing, that's cool.
okay.
If they see me, like I'm gonna like if Gronson sees me and goes, "Oh, disgusting," I'm gonna be like, "Okay, rude."
Jens is looking for the breakfast table.
So you guys just walk past Nissi, Ev, and Gronson. You guys don't go in. I mean, you don't have to. I'm just to be clear. I'm confirming. You don't go in and say hi. You just wave or don't even
Well,
wave.
are they still in deep? Like, are they in the like silent prayer portion? Because
Yeah, they're like in the middle.
because I'm not going to disturb someone's sermon
Yeah, that's
for
true.
no reason.
Nissi is. I think Gronson's finished up. Eb is, I guess, just
Yeah,
staring
you
ahead,
can
thinking
see
really
the
hard,
like
and steam's
creases,
coming
the
out of her
little
brain.
hashtags.
That can't be
And
healthy.
maybe
You
Jens
see
will
them.
wait outside, just patiently.
Mm.
He'll try telepathy again.
God,
So Gronson sees you guys, and he'll say, "Ah, it seems word of my amazing sermon has reached new converts already. You there? Are you ready to give up your wicked ways, young lizard man?"
No, not at all. I haven't. See, the thing is, I don't have wicked ways to give up. Unfortunately, otherwise I would
Fair
be
enough.
in an instant.
He seems to have mainly he just says fair enough, and like kind of just doesn't skip a beat, and seems to just not he was mainly kind of being
No, yeah, it was a like you can come in if you want.
yeah, not facetious too much or anything, just
Yeah,
just
yeah.
just like light jab. What about you? Oh my gosh, Nissi, we've finally got somebody who can play against you on the Scarthorn basketball court.
There's a basketball
There's a-
court here.
Holy shit.
This prison
Well,
is wildly like mismatched.
I mean, well, I would say there definitely would be a mismatch between Nissi and our wiry friend over here, mainly because similar height, but I think Nissi has like 200 pounds on him. But that's
I'm
not here nor there.
not much of a baller.
That's true. I understand. What? See what I'm
Ball.
talking about? See, they're talking about playing basketball.
I'm sorry.
Reese, how?
I have the
What is the
humor
matter
of a
with you?
5-year-old.
What is wrong with you?
Balls.
You are sick and you need help. All right, Gronson's gonna say, "I'm sensing something very cursed in the ether right now." He's gonna say, "Nissy, I think that's enough prayer for today. Why don't you practice being social? You need that more than prayer." And Nissy goes, "Ugh,
That goes.
ugh. All right, it's breakfast time anyway." And he gets up, and the front and the back pew that he was on both kind of clatter a little bit at the changing of at the weight change, and him knocking them around a little bit as he moves. Real bull in the purity shop right now. And he squeezes back out the door. And so yeah, you guys go to get breakfast. You guys can wait around for a second. A few more people fill in. The line is not open. The grub line is not open. But a few more people filter in. Seems to change a little bit day to day. Oh my God, you quoted that. The line starts as soon as it opens up. It seems to be some kind of just farro mush, like very, very plain. Nothing too crazy, with a few looks like a side of seaweed. And that seems to be breakfast. People, what do you guys do? Do you get in line immediately? Do you wait a little bit?
Yeah, I'll get in line right away.
Yeah, I'll wait a little bit. I'm gonna hang back. I'll see if I can grab any seating.
Oh man, Aldris always looking out for the group first and foremost. Puts others' needs above him. What did you say you would do, Jens?
I'm going to wait in line.
All right.
Her time's over.
Eb, what do you
Eb goes
do?
to follow the two of them. She kind of takes a look back at Gronson, like sitting in his little chapel, I imagine. She's got a lot to think about, but she heads out to the grub line, and like squeezes in right under Jens's like elbow. She's like, "Hey, yeah,
Hey, this is the grub
okay,
line. We gotta grab as much as we possibly can. I'm very hungry."
Yeah, I'm sure Jens burns a lot of calories. And so you guys are waiting a little bit. It's moving along steadily. And actually, as you're waiting, Nissy is a couple guys in front of you. As you're waiting, somebody cuts directly in front of Jens.
Pardon me, monsieur. I'm gonna tap the person on the shoulder.
It's a what seems to be a kind of a shady looking half elf. Decently bulky, but not too tall. He's like 5'10" or something like that. In the burlap uniform, or like rough cloth uniform of the gray cloth uniform of the prison, turns around. It's like, "You're pardoned."
Yes, you seem to have cut in front of multiple individuals in the line.
Yeah.
Yes, you should probably head to the back.
And you should probably shove your tray up your ass.
I haven't actually grabbed the tray yet, in case you haven't noticed.
Well, take it under future advisement. And he puts
what's he wearing? What's his outfit?
Pretty much just like the jumpsuit of the prison. He's got
not your bruh.
I'm not your bro, man.
I'm not your buddy, eh?
Whoa, that's like really harsh
I'm not
for a
your
Canadian
buddy,
to say.
Hey, ya hoser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's a big deal. No, but he's just wearing. He seems to be wearing the
Just an earring?
He's got an earring on. He's got no, just I hate you so much. He's got one singular earring on. He's got the rough
And
cloth
that's it?
jumpsuit.
Sean,
You all, Altris and
They
Eb
can tell.
immediately get shivved in the stomach and die.
I
Uh,
come
Eb is
back!
gone.
Yep, you revivify wasted.
is
Yeah, it doesn't
No.
stop. Anyway, okay, so
hold on, my dog is asking for water. I'll be right back.
okay, don't worry. Yeah, we'll wait for a second.
Do, 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 do.
Reese,
Bold
you
of
need
you
to
to
see a
assume I
psychologist.
don't already.
You ever think about that? True. Maybe you need to be in. Maybe instead of Eb, Reese needs to be in Scarthorn for her crimes against humanity.
What, Mom? You need me? Yeah.
There's not really much of a difference.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if you were wanted, and like if any of the people I know was ever turned out like it's like they're on like the evening news. It's like they've been wanted in 3 states
Honestly,
for like 2
that'd be, like,
years.
a
I'd be
really
like,
cool
oh yeah, that
legacy.
sounds like Reese.
But like,
Yeah. See, like, whoa, legacy. I didn't say anything about dying. Whoa. Okay, all right. Sorry, we'll get back in. We'll leave that conversation for another time. Yeah. So the guy is wearing his jumpsuit of rough gray cloth, his thorn bracelet, which is green. It's a green shade, and he's got a singular, what looks to be some kind of gold tacky earring that looks like a kind of a flower.
Okay. I'm going to. Can I get you to make a wisdom saving throw for me if I can cast certain spells?
Sure,
Unless there's something inhibiting me from spell casting.
It's not inherently, no. I'm sure this guy fails, so he fails.
Okay, all right. Is he still looking at me, or is he turned back around now?
He was about to turn around. You kind of got like that. You can say one more thing before he like.
No. Once he's turned around, I'm going to whisper to him, balls. I mean, as I cast dissonant whispers on him and deal 15 points of psychic damage.
What? Oh my god! You are all sick. You are sick people.
Line.
He starts to clutch his ears, and he goes, "No, no, no!" And he starts running away, trying to get this. Like, they're in my ears. The balls. They're in my ears.
All right. Well,
yeah. So he runs away.
I guess he wasn't hungry. All right. That's why you don't cut in line. Eb, listen, if anyone ever cuts in line,
Eb is taking notes.
You cause them severe psychological trauma. Okay. Good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh boy. Right, so you guys go and you grab. You wait in your line. Everybody, there's some murmuring. I guess as you get closer to the front of the line, actually, a couple of other guys in white bracelets approach you, Jens, and they're like, "Are you Jens Jarvison?"
Depends who's asking.
Well, we want something from you, and they reach inside their little breast, like inside, like they have a little bit of a cut in their jumpsuit, and they're like reaching into their inner breast pocket. Or at least one of them is. Do you do anything?
Can I? No. I'm gonna. Yeah. No. I'll just wait and see what they're gonna do.
We want an autograph, and they pull out a little notepad and a makeshift, like a shiv pen. It's a pen and it's a shiv both. And they hand it to you like, "We're a big fan of your adventures."
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you. It's always a great honor to meet a fan. I'll take the pen and the notebook. Is there any like ink on the pen, or is it just like a shiv? You have to like dip it in some ink.
It's got some like it's pre-wetted. It's kind of got like a weird. It's like a chalky kind of pen thing. It's kind of weird to explain, but
All right, yeah,
you can,
yeah.
as long as you dip it into
Pencils.
any liquid, it will start running like a weird chalk pen ink thing.
Who should I make this out to?
More lax, please, and my friend here, Dodd.
Dodd and Morlax. To Dodd and Morlax. Have adventurous adventures.
Thanks, bro. Yeah. Well, to be fair, we more. Well, we wanted to be more legit, but we kind of got put in here, and he points to the white wrist by violating international treaties because we kind of were more what you would call grave robbing. But we our spirit was in the right place. We like to think.
Well, you know what? I like to think of my job as grave robbing for everyone. We all do it for our own reasons, but at the end of the day, it's we're all doing the same job. I'm just publishing what I find.
There they go. Like, oh my god, they really they dig the grave robbing for everyone. Like, he's such an inspiration. I told you. He's like, thanks, Mr. Iverson, and they walk away and they leave you alone. Yeah.
Didn't even know I had fans.
I mean, you're like a famous adventurer in the world. You have a decent amount of like.
It's only ever met like other academics who have met him and people who are taking his classes. He's never met someone who is like, whoa. Like,
I'm sorry. What
he's
about
never
the
met
man
a
on the
fan
boat?
before.
Really?
Who were the man on the boat?
He's
He's
only
like,
ever
are
met
you getting
students.
Jefferson?
Oh shit, that guy.
Well, no. That was Gotspar. Gotspar was like, why the hell is a famous academic trying to kidnap or unkidnap my nephew? He's like, why the fuck do you like? That's like if.
Why are you here?
Well, no, it was basically like
Of
it's
all
like
the possible people.
it's like Dr. Evil like kidnapped somebody, and all of a sudden Jane Goodall tried to like save that person. He's like, why the fuck are you coming over here? What's going on here? So he was a little like, yeah, it was more of just like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't know, Cyril. I didn't know you knew Jane Goodall, kind of a thing. So that's what it was. He wasn't necessarily a fan. I will say, as a side note, Gotspar does have a respect for the academic world, so he's, I guess, somewhat a fan, if you want to call it that, but just respects Yen's work.
I don't really want to call him a fan.
A fan. Okay.
We have fan privileges.
You guys get up, and there's a old, what looks to be another changeling. In there, but like in an unchanged form, oddly enough. They seem to also be a prisoner. They've got a blue scar band on, and that's what I'll call them, scar bands. That works out well. And she's like, here's your breakfast. And she gives you 2 servings. Are you going to try and ask for a third?
Well, I don't know.
Aldris didn't get anything. He's still getting the table for you guys. So.
Oh, right. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Can I get a third for our friend the dragon?
Roll me a quick persuasion
I'll do
check.
puppy dog eyes.
Persuasion check. Hold on.
Sure, roll with advantage, Jens.
Oh, with advantage. Hell yeah. Hold on. I gotta have an app. I rolled a. Oh, that's not very good. And that is. So I rolled a 7 and a 13.
Okay, 13 is good enough. She goes, all right, fine. It's your birthday.
Thank you, madam.
Everybody
You are a kind woman.
I'm a changeling.
Second day.
You are a kind changeling.
Thank you. Not a girl. If anybody's ever watched The Good Place, it's one of my girlfriend's favorite jokes, is the not a girl joke, if you've ever watched that. Not a girl, yeah. And by the way, real quick, can you change the quote just because I think it makes it funnier? Is Cyril, I didn't know you knew Jane Goodall.
Yeah,
I think that adds to it. You get there. You guys get back. and Aldris. I'm assuming you guys go and sit back with Aldris, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, I'm just making sure.
We're gonna go sit with some other guy that we don't know. No, we're gonna sit with Elvis.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. So you guys sit down. You have your like weird farro porridge with a little bit of seaweed on the side as your meal, and some water.
I'm gonna be honest, this is not the worst thing I've eaten. Not even like within the past 2 years.
It definitely comes close to my record.
Scooping it up.
Interesting.
Definitely not the worst thing she's eaten, but like her stomach is impenetrable.
It's very bland. It's definitely very, very bland, but it's not the worst thing that you would ever have. Definitely, seaweed is very interesting. It's probably it's a very complex flavor, and in fact, Jens, roll me do a history check, I guess.
Well, I rolled a natural 20, so there we go.
So, oh wow, yeah. So, the seaweed on Scarthorn is actually considered a delicacy, and in fact, is sometimes exported. It's very, very rarely, but it is for rich bitters, and it's considered like a high end dish in some places. And normally, you don't get out of Scarthorn, but those who have actually like the one or two people in history who have made it out of Scarthorn, will say that like one of the things they missed most about like the meals they get every day is they just like they try and search all over to get that seaweed flavor again, but they can never find it. So it's actually like an oddly high quality dish, just because the magic seaweed that grows on the rock of the island in those still pools is very high quality for some reason.
Jens is gonna try.
Is it like
some.
dry seaweed or is it like wet seaweed?
It's more of this one's a wet seaweed. This one's got like, if you've ever been to like a Japanese place, they've got like the seaweed salad that's got a bit of like sesame seeds on it. This one, it's got black sesame seeds on it. Yeah, sure. And it is refreshing without being overly, citrusy or bitter or tart. But it's still got a depth of flavor of like the cool ocean, with a little bit of salt and umami flavor that is just indescribably whole and solid. And yeah, it is probably one of the better things you've eaten in a while.
Wow, this is oddly delicious compared to the weird gruel that they have.
I'm slurping it up. It's pretty good, actually. I would like vegetables if they all tasted like this.
Yeah, you might even grow some.
In between like mouthfuls, Aldous is gonna ask, I and forgive me if this is rude. I don't believe I ever asked you, which may have been rude of me. How did you two actually end up here?
Well, a feathery gold-plated dick kidnapped two of us, and the other one jumped onto the boat without thinking through his actions very thoroughly.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And why were you kidnapped? Is this just sort of a run-of-the-mill pirate ransom thing?
Oh, I wouldn't
Political
say so.
maneuvering? Revenge?
Well, I guess a good friend of ours was, well, he was a political target per se, and I guess he made himself known to his enemies, who then found him, and therefore us.
Oof. That sounds like an awful situation. My heart weeps for those who have to deal with noble politics.
Yeah, they didn't. Yes. And these particular nobles are...
Eb is cracking her knuckles absentmindedly. She's like, oh, when I get
The
back
worst.
there. At the very least, though, Goldspar is going to have a lot of enemies after him.
Yeah, this is true. Which, brings me back to the point of getting out of here. Because, we can't
Yes.
slap the shit out of him from inside of prison.
I mean, unless you were to target him with a teleportation spell and then reverse it and then force him to come here, that could be fun. But I don't think that'll work.
I don't know how to teleport. I don't know about you, but
No, wasn't in my field of study. I'm more focused on I'm not really focused on translocating people. Unfortunately, would be quite useful in a situation like this.
As if on cue, Eb, do you remember that you saw someone earlier yesterday when you first got into the mess hall? Who from the hand? That person with the tattoo sits down in between you guys and goes, I heard something talking about trying to get out of here. And you can see that this is a not a tiefling, not an Asmar. What was I going to say? I guess just like a short elf, if I remember correctly, who seems to have their teeth filed in a certain way that they have sharp, kind of pointed teeth. And they say, "How's it going? I'm Ricky the Shark. If to those who know, if you're in the know."
Well, nice to meet you, Ricky. And then the arm goes over the table for a handshake.
Oh, that's the first time in a while somebody's usually offered me that. I usually don't get a good response. Okay, yeah,
can I
why
notice
not?
what finger he's missing?
He shakes your hand.
Is he missing any fingers?
Can you notice what? No, he is not actually. So roll me insight check.
Ooh, 21.
History, either one. Yeah, so from this guy's demeanor, kind of being a loudmouth already, he started showing. He's like, "Yeah, you got a nice grip there."
Well, it is mechanical.
Yes, I can get that gold plated if you want to know a guy. You notice that from his kind of demeanor, this is more of a Black Hand flunky rather than like an actual member. Like, especially because they have a fucking tattoo of the organization they're from. That's an assassin thing. He is not like an official member in the sense that he was never inducted into the Assassin Brotherhood. He was just kind of more of the criminal organization side of things. So he's not missing a finger or anything like that. He is probably somebody who they would kill pretty quickly or kick out of the organization at best case scenario, with how he acts. And he's going to turn to you and he's going to say, "Well, you must be..."
glowers back across the table, and for a moment, like, she kind of goes into form of dread. She's trying to scare him.
Oh,
Yeah.
trying to do a
She
little
knows he's a
Zen
fail from
type
the hand. She doesn't want to
intimidation
know
check,
why
Does
he
that happen
knows who
normally?
she is.
No, yeah, I guess this I'll just ask that out loud.
Yeah. Is this something normal that happens? Because this is pretty
immediately
advanced.
drops and Eb turns over and she goes, "Duh, I'm trying to scare him."
It's very interesting. You should be proud of what you're capable of.
Eb was like, "This is what..."
It's very scary. If you
By the
used
way,
it on me, I would run.
As this is happening, by the way, Eb, you're able to notice that Nissi sits somewhere else. He sits at another table by himself.
Single tier, but I'm really busy intimidating this punk.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what did you roll for your intimidation check?
Can I use my
I
form of
screwed up
dread
the
bonus?
intimidation.
Can I
I was
like
gonna
go
say-
into it for like a second instead of going into it for a full minute?
Okay. I'm going to say you have to keep your roll that you just did, and we'll say that it happened because of your. It happened because partly because you were interrupted and you kind of had that
Yeah.
little exchange, which makes it much less intimidating. If you want to activate Form of Dread, it will
No, I have
use your
4
thing
for
for
long
the
rest.
day. I think you only have 1 a day, right? Or is it
I just
how
always
many-
forget to use it.
Okay, yeah, from your proficient. Okay, so all right, yeah. If you want to activate it, you can, but it's not gonna. It might not. Yeah, just that. If you want to activate it, you can. It's good, but he's gonna roll.
I'm not
if
gonna
he's
roll
afraid
that.
of you. If he's gonna go into the fear state.
sees her chances gone. She's a little mopey, but it's fine.
No, tell you what. Why don't you activate it, and I'll let you add it to a persuasion check. He's not scared, but he's like realizes you mean. He's like, all right, whoa. Listen, I'm here to talk. What do you want? What do you want? I'll volunteer any information. What do you want from me? I know not to mess with you.
I mean, I know my reputation precedes me, but and I was like full mob boss. She's like leaning back. She's like playing with her spork in her hand. Like I didn't think news traveled that. Didn't think news got to the prison that quickly. Care to tell me how you knew who I was and that I'm here?
Well, wait. These two these hangers on? Are they with you, or are they just staying around?
Bears her
dropping
fangs
this
a little bit
here
more
now,
so
or
I
what?
can say it in front of them. She needs a posse to look cool.
All right, hey.
Jens tries to look intimidating.
Aldrich doesn't. He does not know what's happening.
Okay.
He's sitting there like drumming fingers on the table, smiling.
Ricky's gonna go, okay, all right. I understand. I can respect it. Got a crew. You need to respect your crew. I got it. He's gonna lean in and lean on one of his arms. He's gonna lean into. He's gonna say, "Listen, I wasn't high up in the hand. I was, but I was pretty decent. I think people said that they would give word. They would mention me to the top brass. I think my name's known among the top players. That's much as I'll say. But I did make it a habit of knowing things. I kept my hand to the pulse, finger to the pulse, whatever, hand on the beat, whatever. Doesn't matter. I wasn't a learned type. That doesn't matter. Don't judge me. Anyway, you made quite a stir when you left. And you weren't the only one to try and leave, at least, from what I understand. Because after you left, people were debating on what to do, what it meant. You're the first member of the hand to leave from that part of the inner circle for a while. Apparently, your dear old mentor was baying for blood, Mr. Faceless himself, or Mrs. I don't really know if it's a guy or a girl. They don't really tell us. I don't. In fact, does he exist? I have a bet about that one. I've got 50 gold riding on this. Is there a head
The hand
digit?
is real, all right.
No. Okay, well I'll tell the person I won. Anyway, when you left, apparently you left a buddy behind. I don't know their name. Somebody apparently pretty close to you. At least we're on the street, from what we can tell. And through all this debate, after a while, they took something they shouldn't have, and nobody knows where they are. They think they're with you, so the rest of the hand desperately tracking you down when normally they take the time picking you apart piece by piece and sending you to everybody you ever loved, inch by inch, after being carved like a turkey. But so now there's a bit of a desperate search for that, and yada yada yada. So basically, you and one of your other friends from your past life are in boiling shit, you could say.
So, have you been in here long then?
Oh no, I've apparently, I don't know when this was a rule. Nobody told me, but you're not supposed to get a tattoo of the organization you're part of. And I was told that I had 3 days to live, and I had to get out of town and whatnot. And so these, these clerics of canon jerk that I've met, I just punched one of them when I got drunk one night, and they sent me away. And apparently that's what's led me to live and be okay, because I got sent somewhere really secure. I don't think so. I think everybody back at my old group, when we worked through the hand, I think they liked me. I think they knew. I think like I said, the higher ups know me. They know I'm a stand-up guy. I didn't sell anyone out except for like 1 or 2 when I was 2 out of 5 is not a bad
it's
amount to
less
rat
than
on.
half. She looks
Right?
at Jens.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Oh my god, you never believe he's like look at what I got for everybody saying I'm a snitch, quote unquote. And he lifts up his shirt and he has so many stab wounds. He's like above
you
15.
really need to get that checked. Like, are they bleeding?
No. These are like these 2 or 3 are still like mending, but like the other like 13 or 12 are like scars at this point. Like
How are you that active? You've been stabbed in the torso so many times.
Well, apparently I had this thing when I was born where I don't have as much organs as the normal person, and
That's not a thing. I am a doctor.
I don't know. He says, listen, well, I mean, how do you explain this? He grabs your metal arm and like hits it against his head, and there's a slight like it sounds a little more hollow than it should be. It's not fully, but it sounds a little more hollow.
You need to see someone like yesterday.
I mean, I always been healthy as a bull, am I right? And you see that Nissi turns over and like glares at him, like, and he's like, healthy as a shark. Am I a bull shark? I meant bull shark. And it's like, and then turns away from him.
Good save.
Thank you. I think it's nice to finally meet my mental equal. He says to Jens. It's like, you strike me as somebody I could get along with, buddy. We 2 peas in a pod.
If that's what you want to believe, then okay.
See? He agrees with me. We're in sync, this guy. God. Could use more people like you. He turns over, he's like, so that's the sit rep. That make any sense to you?
Up. Yeah. Ricky, I just had to know you're someone who wouldn't lie to me, because obviously, like, I heard tell of a Ricky. I won't lie. I sat in. But I had to make sure, because sometimes people go to prison and things change them.
Oh, I ain't changed. Don't worry. I wouldn't forget you, Eb. Even though I'm big time now being at Scarthorn, I think I'm gonna get a tattoo finished. He turns around and on his back there's even more stab wounds, and you see that somebody started doing like a stick and poke like prison tattoo, and that seems to have ended with a stab wound at the end of the prison tattoo. It's got like 5, but in like what's the word? It's got like 5, but it's spelled out in hands. Like the letters are spelled in hands, and then it's supposed to be gang, but by the time it got to the second N, there's a stab wound that ends the second or the first N, not the first N, the second G, and so it's like it just says 5 gone with part of the second G. So yeah, once I get that finished, that people will know I've been.
Can I just, as a precaution, cast Greater Restoration on him?
I mean,
He needs help.
if you want
to spell slots.
No, this is beyond. This is like Hippocratic oath. I gotta do this.
I think strictly, as long as you didn't hurt him, you'd be fine on the Hippocratic Oath. But
No, this is an advanced case of
leaving
this
him alone
man
would be too
has
harmful.
this man has fewer organs than normal people and a tiny brain.
He's like, well, all right. So, do you have to touch him? I forget for that to be.
I think
be the
so.
case?
Let me check. Yeah, it's touch.
Okay, so you go over and you touch him and cast Greater Restoration, and
Yeah, while he's turned around, I like just reach forwards with the metal arm and go, just like push the energy into him.
oh my god, so yeah, the wounds close up, the scars go away.
Oh god, he's gonna get another tattoo.
This scar, they'll say that the part of the tattoo goes away a little bit, just the part that got messed up by the stabbing. And he goes, "Oh man, now people aren't gonna know I'm tough." That's all right. I've only been here for like 2 weeks. It'll take a little bit to get back to normal. But
I mean this in the nicest way, Eb. But this group of people are insane.
Present company included?
I don't know. Well, probably not the child, but definitely the shark man.
Yeah. Yeah.
who
Who wants to be stabbed?
well, well, to be fair, I don't think well, Eb, I don't know. Do you think that I know you're going to be tempted to say yes, but I want you to think about this. Do you think Ricky represents the average Black Hand member or goon?
Ricky is
What was
like
that? Is that a laugh?
those kids in your middle and high school who thought they were like so cool because they like chewed gum and smoked a cigarette that one time. Like Ricky dabbles in crime as a hobby. And Eb can tell. Eb's never heard jack shit about this man, but she knows he's got an ego the size of, I don't know, the size of fucking Scarthorn. Ooh,
Ricky puts the petty
want
into
that on a
petty
shirt.
crime.
Ooh, somebody put that in
That's
quote.
going in quote of the day.
This
Yeah.
is why I took communications.
Okay, wait, I gotta
degree.
shut my windows because the rain's picking up. 1 second.
Okay.
Also, it's Greater Restoration. It's not even that much of a slot.
Here, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. By the way.
It's a hefty waste.
I've got another one of that level.
Well, what if we need 2? What if we need 2 greater restorations?
We can do 2 Greater Restorations. Also, just saying, my only other prepared spell in level 5 is Skill Empowerment. So,
Oh my goodness.
well, because my other 2 are lethal, and I'm not going to use lethal.
You know what? I respect that. I actually don't know if I have. I also have very few lethal spells. I've got.
I'm not gonna cast Cloud Kill in an enclosed room.
Cast. No, I don't even have a spell that can make a good joke here. Nothing is funny. All of my spells are
Yeah, I'd like to cast Negative Energy Flood, targeting everyone at the table.
Oh man, everything sucks.
So, but
Negative energy.
So, given this news,
Eb
what do you
what are you
thinking
that
right
owl
now?
following? Because she knows this is about Mantis, because Mantis left. Mantis left, and she was given a mission, and she didn't complete it. And now she's wondering, like, damn, why didn't I try and talk to them sooner? Like, what was I thinking? She's got a lot of guilt, but she's trying to keep a straight face. She's also trying to think about Ricky's probably not trusted by anyone in this prison, so there's not really a lot of just weighing the pros and cons about like keeping him close.
He's going to be like, okay, I know that you might think that. Well, I don't want to disappoint you guys, but I'm not the criminal mastermind that I seem. And the real fact of why I'm talking to you is that I need your help. I know. He turns away from it. He's like, I'm sorry, but there's a reason I haven't busted out of this place in the 2 weeks that I've been here. As easy as that would normally be, or at least that I thought it would be, it's just not panned out. I got a plan to bust out, but I need some guys, and you look like those guys.
Yeah.
What's the
I'm
plan?
definitely not planning on staying here.
All right, so there's a few. Everybody's tossed it around. It's a prison. You don't got much to talk about except for how bad the food is, how much Nissi is killing everyone in basketball. And I mean, sometimes he's actually come close to killing people. That man is ginormous. What you did to get in here and escaping. So, that takes up a lot of our time. A few people have theorized a couple of things. So, A, if you want to get out, stay the fuck away from block 1. We're at the Celestial block, okay? They have the serious shit because we could all die tomorrow and nobody from any of the governments in the world or the peacekeeping organizations, nobody's gonna give a shit. Anybody throws a rock that hits a door that leads into that place, and we have canon clerics, ciphers, paladins breathing down our necks so far that we'll feel it on our ass crack. Okay, it's something we don't mess with. But people have thought it's been 10 years since Block 3, at least from what I've gathered, was taken over by that necromancer. And the guards give us a lot of leeway during the day on where we go and what we do. So, I'm thinking if we can find a place that we're alone, like Block 3, and that has less violent interference, we can build a raft, or wait, you're one of those. You got the black scar band. You can we just raise a giant dead sea turtle, and we all just float our way.
I don't raise dead. That's not my brand of necromancy, unfortunately.
What about half dead? What if it's it's one of those ones that got hit by a rudder and it's dazed for a while, and we just
I mean, that's just bringing it to full capacity again.
Yeah, so you could do that.
Yes, it's live or dead. There's no in between.
I like the way you think. There is no do, or there's no try. There is just do. I see what you're saying. And so he's like, but when apparently when the whole Block 3 thing popped off, the necromancer was able to take a few things that has given him control over Block 3, and why they don't bother going down there is 1 or 2 magical artifacts and a few of the magical key cards that they use to get around this place and open up the secret passageways. We could try and steal one off of a guard, but a second one of those goes missing, and the whole place goes into lockdown, and everybody gets shaken up by the roots or the vine. Sorry. So, was that the thunder again? Damn, that's crazy. So
this place is in a perpetual storm.
I know it's really pounding outside on the rock. That's crazy. But I mean, the way I see it is there's trying to steal something off the guards. I mean, you can go back into lockup and see if there's anything useful in the evidence locker where everybody's effects were taken away. I'm surprised that I let him say effects. I don't think he would know that word. That was dumb of me.
He heard a guard say it once and now just uses it in every sentence without knowing what it means.
Yes, exactly. He's like, yeah, well, I'll eat my effects later. He's referring to his breakfast. But for now, we're going to go back to talking about this. And then he's like, there's that. We could go see what useful stuff the necromancer down in block 3 has. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but you could try and see what's in block 1, or you could try and steal something from one of the block, or one of the guards around here in block 2. But again, that's a lot of those. Some of those are more dangerous than others. But then after that, after we get access, it's honestly pretty easy to get out. We just need to fashion something, and we're home free if we've got enough supplies.
And
I guess
avoid all the necromancers.
What was that?
And avoid all the necromancers, of course.
I mean, yes, but I don't think they got bones and stuff. They're not that dangerous. Oh, there is one more thing. There's supposedly a heart thorn, I think it's called, around. At least that's what people call it, where the heart of all the thorns are, and they say if you control that, you can control the entire building. But I'm not entirely sure. That's kind of an urban legend, as far as I'm aware. Plus, I mean, everybody knows vines don't have hearts. That doesn't make any sense. Freaking idiots around here, am I right?
I'm not going to correct you, even though... Sure.
What? They have less organs than I do. That's all I know. And that's saying a lot.
It's a metaphorical heart, because this place is a giant spell.
Well... I mean, wait, are you saying it's an illusion?
If I say yes, will you stop?
I think this is a trick question, but yes.
You confuse me to no end, so yes, this is an illusion.
I'm all in. Yes. Final answer. Lock it in.
Correct. You've won this, and it's like a spoonful of the fallow.
He goes, woo! Finally, everything's coming up, Ricky. Yeah, Eb, what are you thinking right now?
This is kind of funny. She's also...
Okay, don't
No, she doesn't trust him at all. Yeah, this plan is kind of
still
jack shit.
No, I'm just saying, don't make me act like an idiot too much. It gets tiring. I'm very exhausted. But continue. You're saying that Eb was entertained, and I do like that you were talking about how you were felt bad about Mantis. Yeah, she's got 3. She keeps them in a jar in a closet.
Ricky can't have one.
Cool.
I know. Yeah, Ricky's chomping down on his Pharaoh mush. Jens, real quick, roll me a perception check.
Perception check, you say? This I can do. This I can do once I find my dice app.
You fail. Die.
Jens immediately gets stabbed by 5 members of the hand all at once. 5 digits. They immediately multi-stab.
Tragic multi-stab. I rolled a 15.
You notice a few people shifting around, kind of looking over at you, and you feel a tap you feel a tap on your shoulder.
I didn't need a perception check to feel a tap on my shoulder. That's
not what I was saying. I was saying that a bunch of people are staring at you that you noticed.
I turn around to see who is tapping on my shoulder.
It is the elf from earlier, and he says, "You like balls, huh? You think they're funny?" And he throws his Pharaoh mush in your face. And you're just drenched in like hot Pharaoh.
I cast heat metal on his earring.
Oh my god! I thought that's what you were going to do originally.
Awful.
I was really worried about that. His ear starts burning, and it starts smelling like cooked meat in the thing. And you just hear somebody from one table over yell, "Food fight!" And a bunch of everybody just starts throwing like seaweed and farro around and porridge, and everybody's starting to get nailed. Jens, a bunch of people are converging on you that seem to be his gang. the guy runs over and he puts he wraps his ear in seaweed. He's like, oh, thank goodness. He goes, oh, geez, you're sick.
Hey, you cut in line.
This is a wild overreaction. Get him, boys! And they all start throwing Pharaoh at Jens, and I'm just gonna roll a few d20s to see how many you get hit by. Let's see here. What is
every one that hits Jens? He's frantically trying to scoop up into his own bowl for later.
Okay. You take.
We love a Chad who doesn't waste food.
Yeah, I know. It's close to my heart. I think. Jens, what is your dexterity?
My dexterity is 12.
Okay, yeah. So 4 of these are gonna hit. You're kind of drenched in Pharaoh, and you take 4 HP damage. Very minor.
Did our sleep count as a long rest?
Oh yeah, it did definitely. Yeah. Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Believe for that.
So yeah, you are hit and drenched in this porridge, Pharaoh. You're scooping it in. Everybody else, the chaos erupts around you, and you can see that a bunch of the guards are like, another food fight, get in here just in case, and like a bunch of them in full riot gear start stomping out at the observation deck that's gated off above, but none of them are coming down just yet. All the inmates don't seem to care, and they're just kind of going at it. Jens is scooping up the Pharaoh to eat more. Aldris and Eb, what are you doing?
I am going to, as things start to get crazier, I'm going to cast Sleep at 2nd level, which means creatures within 20 feet of a point I choose within 90 feet. So just where the largest crowd is, fall asleep. I get to roll d8s to determine how much HP worth I can put to sleep.
Okay. How many d8s are you rolling?
I am rolling 5, 6, 7 d8.
7 d8. Okay.
Yeah, 78 dice. So I can put a total of 34 health HP worth of people to sleep.
All right, so a crowd of about like 12 of them are over there. They're kind of fighting each other. A few of them are starting to get like rough and like punching each other. As you do that, 6 of them out of the 12 just immediately fall asleep, and the others are kind of like, whoa. They kind of look around at each other, and I guess just roll me a perception check real quick.
It's getting too dark for me to use my normal dice. Give me a sec. Roll. What is my perception? I have perception. That's something I have. 14.
Okay. So you kind of notice that the inmates at the casting of magic seem a little bit uneasy, which is a bit odd because sleep is not like a super unique spell, but they seem to realize that it was magic and something about it makes them uneasy.
Okay.
Eb, what are you doing?
I'm gonna after that start walking over to to do any minor medicine stuff I can do with just my hands on anyone who fell down.
Yeah, there's a few scrapes and bruises, and a couple people have like bloody running noses from getting punched in the face, so they could use some treatment to make sure they set properly.
Yeah, just basically anything minor that I don't actually need to burn a spell slot for.
Okay, yeah. So give me a medicine check real quick.
Now that I'm good at. Plus 9. That is a... Oh my god, that is an 11. I rolled very badly.
Well, for good for you, it was only a DC 10, just because this is very, very minor stuff. Like, like setting noses and making sure they're fine, just putting little bandages on scrapes, things like that. Nobody has anything serious going on right now. Ab, what is
Eb is
what
kind
are
of
you
watching the
doing?
food fight, and for a moment she's like, okay, maybe this won't be so bad. She's kind of grinning. She's not trying to be part of it. But then she sees like them all falling asleep and kind of realizes Aldris is doing something.
Eb would see like some tiny flicks of the hand, just subtly. Some wisps of magic.
Real quick too, you see the other guys like immediately start also targeting Rick, and he's like, "No, do whatever you want to me, but don't attack my crew and my friends." And he like looks over at the other guys, and everybody immediately turns to Ab and starts chucking their bowls at her. It's like, "Oh no, they'll take anything that you can dish out, you monsters. Hurting them hurts me more than hurting me would."
Ricky, shut up!
He's
Oh
such
my
a
god,
true friend.
he's trying to make me shut up so that I don't get in danger. It's okay, Benz. I won't let them hurt you anymore.
Eb is rolling her eyes.
Don't associate with him.
No, don't let them break you, Benz. They'll never break our friendship. We'll stand true no matter whatever they throw at us.
Do you even know my name?
I'd never forget you, Benz. And Ab, you're going to take Ab. What is your
throwing food at him?
Yeah, save yourself. Save yourself, Benz. He's not one of me, right? Yeah, totally. He's totally not my best friend. Ab, what is your what's it called real quick? Your
just
dex?
like normal, or do you want me to roll it? My dex is 15.
No, just normal. What is your what is your Okay, so you have a 12 normally. So you also take 4 hits of damage, as in like 4 points.
I have 13 normally for dex.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Plus 2.
How's that possible? Oh, well, I guess maybe you didn't. Oh, yeah. Okay. Which would be plus 2 from your 15. Yeah. Okay. Yes, you still take that. Oh, you can also uncanny dodge, and we'll just say that's half to 2 if you'd like. All right. How do you
Matrix
dance out of the
style,
way of
I
these Pharaoh
just
bowls?
drop and come back up.
Okay.
It slows down. The pies go by with like the bowls go by with like a pharaoh falling out a little bit. Yeah.
For those who aren't able to see, Eb was doing an epic slow motion wave hand thing. They miss and all hit Nissi in the back, and you just hear him go, and he gets up and he goes over to the lunch line, and he reaches behind the counter and he says, "Move it, lunch lady." And she says, "Not a lady." And he grabs the whole like iron cauldron of Pharaoh thing. He baseball pitches it across the room with one arm and flattens 5 of the guys who are throwing it at you, all against the iron grate at the end of the room, and it all just goes quiet as it just goes boom, as like the metal on metal sound rings out and it sounds crunched. And he goes back to his seat, sits down, and starts eating again. You can see that everybody just kind of pauses after seeing that. And they all everybody just kind of takes it, says, "Fight's over. It's done." And he goes back to eating his Pharaoh. Tell you what, Jens, give me a sleight of hand check to see how big your bowl of Pharaoh is.
A sleight of hand check. Oh boy. I rolled that's dexterity. I rolled a 15.
Okay. You a heaping bowl of Pharaoh now. Like it's pretty good. If you're able to get it all down, you can take 2 points of health back.
All right, yeah, I start chowing down.
Yeah.
Gotta
With
heal
more
my Pharaoh-induced damage.
Haven't you ever heard that saying?
You heal the
fight
Pharaoh
with
the
Pharaoh.
Yeah, exactly.
Pharaoh.
Yeah, somebody put that in out of
I've heard that
context
one.
or
I've heard
quote of the
that
day
one
for me.
before.
Netto Pharaoh. It hardens in response to physical trauma. You can't hurt me.
I will say, to answer your question, Aldris, the people who are hit by the cauldron, they are not like
Mortally.
gravely injured, not like what's the word?
Critical condition?
Not mortally wounded or critical condition. Not it's not like a death injury. But a few of them have broken arms and things like that. Like 2 out of the 5 have, the 2 that were catching the cauldron, basically. The others have very minor damage, a few broken noses again that can be fixed with a few little setting.
Yeah, I'm going to go over.
bruising,
They're
broken rib.
conscious, so I'm going to offer my services instead of just giving them.
Yeah, they're all grown. Yes. Please. Oh, my ribs.
See, that's a much better roll. That's a 28.
Yeah, if you want, you don't even have to cast any sort of greater restoration. For the most part, you will
Yeah,
tell
I'm not
that
fixing bones. I'm just setting them so they don't break and like heal in bad ways.
bad places. Yeah, these will heal very. They're like hairline fractures, I believe is the term. That just like they'll heal very quickly if you set them right, and you know how to set them. You give advice. I'm assuming like what
Yeah.
like they've got a broken rib here, they got a thing there. You're just giving out random stuff.
Don't put
move.
any weight on that arm. Don't play basketball. Just don't get in fights with any of the vines for at least like a couple weeks.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Funny enough, this was what happened last time I played basketball against Nissy too. Oh.
He's very strong. Admirable.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Oh, my spine. And people settle down a little bit. Although, a few of the worst people, the riot gear guards actually filter in, and they start to bang their shields with their batons. And you just see them kind of doing this, and then all of a sudden, it seems like will look to be red and black vines come in and start taking away the worst defenders. A few try and fight back, but they get pretty violent with them and like thrash them around, and like they just all get kind of taken away, screaming like or just yelling. Some of them accept their fate, like all right, fine, and they're just taken away back to the holding cells. It looks like, although a few were taken off to the side. Those that go back down and sit down after being a little corralled by the riot guards go and just sit down and start eating again. And then the guards retreat, and everything's back to normal for the most part. Well, as normal as it was. There's a bunch of Pharaoh on the ground and whatnot, but it's not too bad.
It was an animated
God,
breakfast.
it was just breakfast. Okay.
I have to ask Ricky. Is magic not common here?
Oh yeah, you mean the I think they call it sparkle power or something like that. I think that's what the academics call it.
Yeah,
But
no, we don't.
yeah, this guy gets me again. He knows. We academics, he points to you and he points to himself and you like back and
No,
forth.
I was not including you in
No,
I
no,
meant
no,
me
no.
and my academic compatriots.
We're street academics. We know what to call it, that underhanded bullshit that stops us from rightfully stealing from a blood bank drive.
You ever been to a university that you haven't stolen from?
Well, do you count it if it wasn't stolen successfully, so I didn't end up stealing from them?
No, I don't count it.
Then no.
Yeah.
A lot of my lawyers were from university. Does that count?
No, it does not.
All right. Well, we'll revisit this great debate between us another time. I think it's great practice.
Nope.
He's like, oh yeah, no, winks. And he
Yeah.
sorry.
Thank you, Aldris. Thank you.
He's like,
I hate it so much.
as far as I'm aware, there's a lot of glyphs and wardings, and just the vines themselves seem to not allow for a lot of magic to be cast. It depends what kind. From what I've been told, I don't really know which kinds are better and which kinds aren't. But if you start casting too much, the vines get agitated. Some people say maybe it's because of in the past life she was killed by magic, or just the gods don't like it because it's not church magic or some bullshit. I don't even know if some people say it's like a church thing. It's not. I don't know. Anyway, cast too much and the vines will start beating the crap out of you. And certain things don't work. I know one guy who is a sinker, I think. A sinker couldn't do some kind of thought speak around certain of the vines and outside with one of his buddies. He had this great act he would do apparently back in Antani. He was a Ravonian like street magician for a while, and he and his buddy had like a thought speak thing between them that they would fleece people. I don't know. Apparently, it wasn't magic, even though it was the same underhanded bullshit. But you know that I'm sure people like them stopped me from that. That was such a good blood bank heist too. It was all elaborated out, but whatever. Never mind. But yeah, just although apparently, again, if you're in like block 3, you'll probably be fine, or who knows. But yeah, just be careful. Some things don't work around here, and if you do too much of it, it might get the attention of the guards.
That's important to know.
Certain powerful spells, I'm pretty sure, immediately get your ass beat by the vines.
Probably shouldn't try to blink out of here.
Yes. Thank you for letting me know. That is an important thing for me to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem. And yeah, let me know if you want that gold-plated deal every time. I know a guy.
Thank you.
Well, it's thankfully we weren't part of the Thorn crew. We're not going to be put in the spiky room. So that's what I call it. Anyway, we'll be able to go out and have our rec time for a little bit. If you guys are eager, you could head down to Block 3 today. I won't be going, but if you guys want to go today because you're eager, so we can get out of here as soon as possible. Just because I already outlined the plan and everything. We could do that now if you want. As he's speaking, actually, the stone door kind of that's right next to the slop station opens up, and you can feel an air change as the outside becomes open, and the cool breeze from the ocean comes in. It's like, oh yeah, look at that.
Well, I'll follow your guys' lead. I am not adept in breaking out of prisons, but I have been told that you, and they're looking directly at Eb, are quite skilled when it comes to this sort of thing.
Looks between all of them.
Yeah, you're the expert.
She looks at the door. She goes, Ricky, honestly, I would agree with you if I didn't know that. I've heard. There's this legend in the hand. She looks like really covertly around. They only tell the digits.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's about old Rhodia. Because apparently it didn't become a mess on its own. Apparently the hand wanted a part of that. It's a vast territory. There's a lot going on there. So they came to Scarthorn. I mean, what's a better place to hide among, who sees the trees for the forest,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know what? Wait, but real quick, just because I know you and I know, but just in case so they know, what's a tree?
Like,
Just for a layman.
you can't
like
see.
they.
You can't see the one individual vine in this whole place. You'll see the whole place at once. It's a good place to blend in. So I know
Yeah.
the hand has
Yeah,
dealings
right.
with Scarthorn, and maybe not with the prison staff, but the building itself was interesting, especially to the main man. And as much as I also want to get out, I really got to know more about this place and what it means to the big man. And you seem really versed around this place. Could you maybe try and scope out the beginnings of if you could maybe scope out a little bit about this place? What makes it so interesting? And I'll do my half, and then once we know enough, we take your plan.
It's like, I see what you're saying. You think you need more of the expert opinion
Ricky,
of Ricky,
if
the
the
shark.
main man, who kicked both of us out, had something important about this place that he wanted, don't you think that'd be good for us to have?
Oh, well, I mean, I was never kicked out. No offense. Like, I'm
You're
sorry
right.
about
I'm
what
sorry,
happened to
but
you. I'm sorry that I can, do you want me to talk to him? Do you want me to talk to him and see if I can get you back in? Is that where this is going? I can try. They know me. I could see what if the main man. It's a man, right? It's a guy. I always thought it was a guy. I could talk to him about being, about letting you back in, kid, if you want. He puts his hand on his shoulder. It's like, listen, it might be tough, but I think I got the kind of pull,
Ricky, you are
especially after being in here for a while. But yeah,
Ricky, you are
if you
one
want,
of a kind.
I can research it a little more, see what's going
reaches
on.
up and taps him on the shoulder too.
Oh, apparently that's what the doctor said when I was born as well to my mom. So I knew I was special from day one.
Bless your heart, Ricky. You got that right.
You're gonna have to half bless that one. No, I mean I literally only have like 1.5 valves in there, or I think they're called valves or pipes. What are those things in your heart
that make you go like ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum?
Chambers.
Yeah, I think I think only 1.5 drums in my. That's what I've heard, at least. Now I'm pretty sure it's drums. I think she got it right, buddy. Anyway, yeah, you know what? If it's speaking of, I need to get them pumping a little bit. Yeah, I'll go. I mean, if you want to wait around a little bit and find whatever's around here, I'll check it out for you. I'll go I'll go right now. Real quick though, before I send him away, what are you?
This is all
Is your
BS. I just
reasoning
don't
that
think Ricky's plan was a good idea, but I wanted his help a little more.
Okay, so I was going to say, yeah. Do you actually think the Black Hand is interested in this place? Okay, so if it's all BS, I want you to just roll a very easy DC.
Okay, so
8
regular
deception
and
check.
if it's above an 8, I'm fine. Oh well, I have a +10, so 27.
You're fine, yeah. Oh, never mind. Oh, Jesus.
Eating it out of my hands.
He completely buys this shit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, 100%. You got it. You got it. Yeah, yeah. I'll see what I can do. By the way, I'll. Don't worry, kid. I'll look out for you." And he walks out to go to do some rec, and investigate.
All right, now that that's
says.
over. I'm so sorry, you guys, but oh my god, that was the dumbest. It's the dumbest plan I've ever had.
He seemed a little off his rocker.
He was.
I mean,
strange. But also, was he right that you're being hunted by an organization that's going to chop you into
Oh, they're not gonna have
small
anyone to
pieces
send me
and
to.
send you to your loved ones?
Also, no, they're not gonna chop me up. Probably.
That's awful.
That's probably torture. Yeah, and then
Oh my god.
chop me up.
Well,
Yeah, but it's
torture
whatever.
and murder, but yeah.
That's not fine. That's horrible. I'm very sorry for you.
You know, I'll be honest, I'm quite impressed by your cool demeanor about the whole thing. I'd be losing my shit.
I've dealt with a lot in my time, so I've learned it's best to try and keep a cool head. Seriously, though, we should. Is there any way you can fully free yourself from their grasp? Because that is no place for a child to be burdened. That's not a child should not be burdened with fear of dying.
Don't worry, I have a plan.
That is pretty heavy.
I'm gonna take them all down.
Well, you seem very confident, so all right. And for the record, I quite agree about that Ricky and his not being a good plan. I mean, his plan was kind of just go to a different part of prison and then leave prison.
Yeah.
It's not much of a plan, is it?
It was that, wasn't it?
I
didn't even think of that.
I do want to learn more about the prison. That's true. Something about it is like
it is a very
it acts with a purpose, which is very difficult to do if you're casting a spell. For instance, I have a spell that allows me to imbue an object with magic for a set period of time, but even then, that's only one thing it's capable of. This prison seems capable of not only
it's
moving prisoners, but making decisions.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird. Very, very weird. I worry that I'm interested in his Ricky's comment about spell casting. We're going to have to be very, very careful.
Yes.
It probably limits the amount of spells we can use.
Kept mentioning block 3, and we know that's where the necromancers are, but this place has to be massive. I got some information. I went to church this morning. Yeah, go figure.
Yeah.
I got some information on the lore of this place.
Good for you.
The church lore.
The
so practically,
lore.
basically, the church has always said, and then I tell them the story about it.
No, I want you to say everything again.
It was a sunny day in the year 1000. But not all was right with the world, because the evil queen, what's-her-face, wanted to take over. She was expanding the barriers of Rhodia and bringing her wicked paganism, druid craft with her. Okay.
Well, this doesn't seem that wicked. This just seems like classic.
The church story is that there is
expansion
an evil
work.
queen
This is just a historical
who,
thing.
with demonic entities, was trying to expand the borders. And that she was stopped by a saint, Lycia, who destroyed her with an evil burst of magic, and from her destruction, Scarthorn was born. That the vines are what's left.
Huh. So what you're saying is, this isn't so much a prison as it is an angry, evil sorceress queen who is now very angry at people in general.
But I just...
It's a tomb, and if this person died in a burst of magic, I can't imagine that that's a very restful death. So it's likely that the vines are under the control of
turns to Aldrich
some
and
sort
goes,
of spirit.
So my thought was, if this is all a vengeful spirit, let's say, and it remains in some part of the vines, possibly the heart. Can we... Because maybe she's not angry so much as... What would you feel being, destroyed by your enemy, and worst where you're forced to become a writhing mass with no central... to house prisoners, to make a jury exist. It just seems like a horrible place to be.
Yes, I imagine it's not a pleasant existence. I imagine that, like many vengeful spirits, really they need
That is my plan. If we can somehow... I used to speak with spirits a lot. She goes to reach for her necklace, it's not there. And I could help them through. When they had unfinished business, or they were longer than they wanted to be. And I was thinking that if we could do it with her, maybe she could help us leave.
That's a good plan. Do you use a focus, or are you able to do this purely on instinct? I know you're able to crystallize souls and take on a guise on instinct, but I know that powers are
I used
rarely
to have
uniform.
a stone with an old family rune on it. That's what seemed to attract them, but the evidence room. It's probably in the evidence room. I don't know if I could do it without it. I can still see the spirits and talk to them, but I don't know if I could release them in the same way.
Okay.
That does present a bit of an obstacle. I can't imagine it's easy to get to the evidence room.
Probably easier than getting
I have no
across
idea
the
about
ocean.
transport across the
Now,
ocean,
there's
but
a
my
thought.
thought is cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully Scarthorn's not the only thing on this island, and we can hunker
Agreed.
down until we can figure out how to.
Worst case scenario, we build the raft.
Yep. Better than swimming.
Yeah.
So then,
Okay.
how do
We
we
need to
go
find
about
out where the heart
finding
is.
this heart?
And before we go to the heart, we need to go to the evidence room. And we're going to have to grab our stuff. Well, preferably the stone, but I would also like all of my stuff, because where are my pockets? It's my stuff. Plus, I've got some people waiting for me. But then we have to find our way to the heart. And that's going to be the hard part. But I imagine it's probably the least trafficked area.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a scared spirit, wouldn't you hide the part of you that's... you would protect the part of you that's vulnerable.
Yes, that means it'll attempt to bar our entry to that central chamber, however.
I'm hoping we won't have to fight, but that's what we need to do to get in contact with her. We'll need... You can break the vines, right, Aldris?
Necromancy is particularly good at destroying plant and organic matter, so yes, I can
we've got at
punch
least
through a
that.
few walls for you.
I've got some spells I might be able to use.
I would like to give something a try, if you are up for it. You usually use a rock as a focus, one with a connection to the dead and spirits, correct? Why don't you try casting through me?
Oh. And how do you figure that would... You do have the connection through spirits. I've never tried with anything living.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I would like to at least know that in a pinch, you can contact spirits or get their help without necessarily needing the equipment in lockup.
All right. Yeah. This, I don't think, is the time nor the place, though. We're gonna need to find a place where we can.
Yes. Somewhere
Yes.
secluded
We
where we
also need
won't
to make sure
immediately
the
be found
vines
out
aren't
by the
too
guards.
upset with our. Yes.
Nosy.
All right. And we're gonna
Yes.
have to deal with Ricky. Very strange.
Ricky.
A very strange man.
We could probably.
I mean, yeah, I don't
convince
think they would
one
need
of
much
the other inmates
convincing.
to shiv him.
I would prefer not to resort to murder.
Okay, well, we
Hmm.
can ask someone to do it and just not tell.
Oh,
you.
don't worry.
That doesn't really make it better.
We won't get
Okay,
anyone to
well-
shiv
I guess
him
if I
when
don't
we
know, I
nudge,
can't
nudge.
stop you, but
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I
What?
can
No,
see
I
you
didn't.
just said wink,
False
wink, nudge,
information.
nudge.
Fake news.
That's slander. That is slander. Lies.
I'm just saying. Do we really need the heat of another inmate being tracked back to
All
us
right,
when
you
they
make
find a
valid
corpse?
arguments. All right.
We speak.
Ricky
yes.
problems on the back burner. We can try and keep distracting him. For the most part, seems like he's at least known around here.
Yeah, he's probably a little too
Yeah, just the problem
thick
is
to be any sort of real problem.
if he gets to talking, he was real quick to tell us about his plan to escape.
Yeah, well, I think we can maybe leave his plan on the back burner. Maybe we can make it our plan B. We shouldn't probably not give him probably not give him more than we need.
All right. Good. So, I think it might be best if we divide and conquer. Someone tries to figure out about the heart. Someone tries to figure out about a training space, and someone tries to figure out about the evidence lockup.
Well, I think the evidence lockup should probably be your job, considering what with the
I am the
expertise of
sneakiest.
breaking in and out.
I can look for a training space somewhere with a connection to the dead, but not so much that it would be overwhelming and away from the prying eyes of others.
Yeah.
And I'll see what I can find out about this heart then.
Oh my god! I wonder where there's a necromancy space that's
I don't
known
think
to be
that
isolated.
necromancy space is a good place for training.
I mean, where else are you going to be in a place where apparently you need to be away from the vines to not get noticed, huh? Anyway,
Here's the problem, though. I will be in a den of people who want to turn me into a walking corpse.
that's true. Yeah, Jens, when you say you're going to learn about the heart, you just hear, Come, Yenzavar. Come to visit me in the heart chamber."
That's not my name.
No, wait, that's right. You're only a Skyrim person. You don't know Morrowind jokes. That's the whole joke, is that the Elder Scrolls thing, and well, yeah, you're into the heart of Lorcan and the whole Morrowind plot. That's kind of the joke, is Nerevar going to the heart chamber. Anyway, sorry, I'll stop sidetracking. Nissi, by the way, gets up and goes outside to get some rec time in. And yeah, you guys have made your plan. Is there anything you guys want to do? Do you want to? At this point, it seems people are just filtering out wherever they want to go. Most people who are left, who were not taken away by the vines, seem to be going outside for their limited amount of time to get fresh air and exercise. Others are just going back to their cells. What are you guys wanting to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Start investigating, obviously. Is there a library in this prison?
Library.
Keeping in mind that there is one in
Yes.
Shawshank Redemption, which is
Also
a
in
premier
Prison
piece of
Break,
prison
just
media.
saying.
That's true. Yes, and that is an American.
Mhm.
No, that's true. There are prisons, even terrible, shitty American ones, will have libraries generally. In this one, yes and no. I would talk to. Well, okay, so I'm not going to tell you because I'm not. You can't just ask the air and get the thing. There's three people around that you would be able to talk to. You can ask another inmate. You can ask one of the guards. You can ask Nissy, Gronson, or Ricky if you would like about other facilities for use. If you would
well,
like.
we're not talking to Ricky unless absolutely necessary. So I'll go to Nilly because he seems like the kind of friendly enough and
I guess we'll just say
knowledgeable.
we'll go back and forth on Nissy versus Nilly. I said Nilly originally, so no.
Oh,
I thought
is
it
it
was
Nissy?
Nissy.
It was Nilly originally, and then saying
And now it's
Nissy.
Nissy.
So
Okay.
I was doing that. I mean, honestly, we'll
I'm
just
gonna
say
go and ask Nissy. That's what I'm gonna do.
no. We'll say this is that he said that either one is his nickname, just to make it so it's easier for people.
Okay.
I'm gonna forget next session anyway, so it's Nissy or Nilly. We'll just who cares.
Ooh.
And if you're a viewer and you've got a problem with that, fuck you. I'm sorry, Soap's one friend who's watching. I didn't mean that. Please don't leave us. Anyway, okay, so you go out. Nissy is he's out back. He's got what seems to be some kind of like old like ball that is just a bunch of like some little elastic and a bunch of layers of like some kind of leather maybe wrapped over each other. And there's a very long court where it's kind of like a mix between a football field, like an American football field, and a Quidditch match sort of a thing, where the baskets are not. It's basketball, and he throws it all the way across the field, and it lands in the wicker basket at the end, which is sideways, and so it lands kind of and hits the back, bends the pole a little, and it springs back up. And you can see that he grunts in a little bit of satisfaction, like,
Holy shit, that's a good throw.
Oh, thanks. What was your name again? You came in with that Eb girl, right?
Yeah, we're actually friends. My name is Jens.
Silly. You can call me Nissy or Nilly or whatever. Most people don't remember it. So
Thank
just
you,
Nilly
Nissy.
for foreigners is good enough. Nilly or Nissy. He goes to collect the ball. I'm guessing you didn't come to play because nobody comes to play with me.
I mean, I'll play with you if you want. Not why I can, but I'll happily join you.
Do you know how to play basketball?
Is the goal to try and throw the ball into the baskets?
Yeah, basically, he says. He's like, all right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I'm going to need you to make an immediate con saving throw.
God damn it. Oh, good. I get that as a save. 19.
Okay, yeah, you're good. He chucks it pretty hard at you. But yeah, how do you catch it? How do you want to describe catching it to us?
Jens is gonna do he's gonna jump up and do almost like a full eagle and grab it and fall back down. It's gonna
You're
look
gonna do
very
like
dramatic.
a Kung Fury kind of a catch here.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. Yeah, it looks really cool. It's a lot cooler than Jens is normally used to looking.
Okay. He goes, all right, guess you weren't lying. Do you want to throw it back to try and score a goal?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and take a shot at the basket.
All right. Give me an athletics check.
Athletics check, baby. Let's go. I rolled a 1.
Okay, so how does Yen spectacularly fail at this?
Jens goes for he's ramping up for a huge dunk on this basket, and then he just trips and face plants real hard. He does not let go of the ball.
Nissy is like, after the whole catch, I was expecting something a little more impressive. I'll be honest. He goes and helps you up.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not. I haven't actually done this a whole lot. I'm more of a bookie type. But thanks for letting me try it out. Maybe we'll try to get some other time.
Yeah, well, first person I've played a point with in a long time, so I guess that's something. So, all right, why don't you tell me what you really want? We don't have to beat around the bush here.
Oh yeah, well, I was wondering. You seem like you're pretty familiar with the place. I was wondering if there were any libraries or places I could go to learn about the building. I mean, going to be here for a while. Might as well learn about space.
Mm-hmm. So you're just asking him about the whole of the prison?
That's what I'm starting with.
Okay. Well, he says you right now, you guys, as you open up to the rec field, the whole kind of area is this like plateau of jagged rocks, with some still water pools around. There's a few things carved out of the rock as very bare bones. Like equipment, like the stone is the thing that's carrying the baskets, and the baskets are very well worn. There's like a weird track thing in an oval over there, and that's pretty much it. There's some like rocks with handles on them, but that look like they might be weights, but like they're not at all balanced. So they've just got a loop on them, and that's it. It's like a boulder with a loop on it. He goes over and starts like curling one. So, yeah, well, it's pretty much you see what you get. There's nowhere off the island, pretty much. They keep a lot of it self-contained. There's rarely ships that stop by to minimize its escape attempts. We get 3 meals a day. Get rec generally 2 hours a day, and well, I'm trying to think what else. Don't use magic. Do what the vines indicate for you to do, and try not to be somewhere you're not supposed to, and they won't beat the crap out of you. That's the general rules.
Okay. No on the library then. Am I going to be writing my own books to read?
No, they're well. Gernerson has a library that he lets inmates use. Generally, he doesn't let the general populace use it because a lot of them try to research forbidden spells or things like that. It's become kind of a controversy where giving access to books can sometimes really fuck up things. He goes over and he's like, if you want, I'll let him know that you're okay, and you can use his library if you would like. It's got a decent reading list.
Oh, that would be most appreciated. Thank you. Very kind. Slightly unrelated, but have you heard about the heart?
He kind of starts up at you and narrows his eyes, like, yeah, I've heard about the heart. I mean, you can't be on here much longer than you can't be here long without hearing about that rumor, legend, whatever you want to call it.
They say that this place used to be a queen, a great powerful sorceress, and that her heart is the heart that imprisons this prison. It's a fascinating story, don't you find?
Story, yes. The actual exact details of it, sure, are more of a story, but for the most part, well, give me a history check here, real quick, Jens. Actually,
and this is pretty good at that. 26.
Okay, yeah. So, you are able to realize that Scarthorne itself, I mean, is a famous prison. It's something you would have heard of as a scholar and an international person. And the story of how what Ebb mentioned from the church is a bit not unique, but you can tell that it's like, as a historian, you would realize that anytime someone tells a story of their own history or something from their people's past, it's going to be flavored a little differently. So you do realize that the general accepted history of Scarthorne is that it was a fortress used by a druidic queen who was trying to take over the country and potentially the world at least that's what's accepted internationally, and was stopped. And there was church involvement on that, but how much church involvement is up for debate. So he says, yeah, well, I mean, rodeo, we remember things slightly differently, but I mean, the same basic story is the same. Somebody got power hungry. It happens. They got stopped, and they're evil, and their choices are still left to fester and, I guess,
We
be
bear
what
the
you
brunt.
say.
We bear the brunt of it.
Exactly. Again, they always say it's fitting and poetic justice in a way that we're sent here as criminals, and he pulls up his wristband or his scarband and, kind of motions to that and yours. I'm not one for poetry, so I don't think about it too much.
Poetry is often a wishful lens to apply to history.
Well, if you're wondering about if you want to have if you and Ebb and your other friend there, I'm not sure of his name. I think he said it was Albus, something like that.
Close.
Aldous. Yeah, I'll try and remember that if he survives. If you're planning on some fool escape attempt with the heart, I mean, you can try, but many have thought of it before.
Well, I wouldn't say anything quite so extreme. I'm more curious. I'm academic by trade. These things interest me.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only academia you'll get is at Gunnarson's office, so sometime, I mean, if you want to go now, you can just say that I said something, and he remembers you probably from when you were, you saw us during morning prayer. If you want, I mean, you could just,
I'll go and try my luck.
He probably knows you, you know.
Oh,
if you're some kind of famous academic type, he probably does know who you are.
Apparently I am, so, we'll go see what I can. Thank you very for the chat, Nilly. I appreciate it, and I am excited to play this basketball with you more often.
Says, well, yeah, no need to thank me. If you ever do come back and you remember how to do that eagle move, by all means, come back and play.
Yeah, fat chance of that, but thank you. And then Jens is gonna walk away. Also, can I just say, if when we escape we don't bring Nilly with us, I'm gonna be real disappointed.
Yeah, Nilly comes or we riot.
No, whoa. I don't know if we can all be making these demands all at once. Come on.
I am more sacrificable than this good Minotaur dad.
Okay, we need to talk about something, Max, real quick. What is with your obsession on wanting to die at the end of your guest appearances, man?
It's so much more dramatic than not dying.
Okay, yeah, but I guess you don't need to die every time, though.
No, I don't think I'll die. I'm just saying, if it comes to it, I'll stay in prison to get Nilly out.
Oh my god.
So noble.
So noble. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. Ebb and Aldris, I'm gonna say that's the end for Jens there. Was there anything you guys want to do before we wrap up here? I think any last little things, just because I do want to get through more, and I think we could, but I don't want to burn it out just yet. I want to save it a little more for next time. Is there anything you guys want to do, or do you think that's a good place to stop here?
I would like to look for people in the rec yard who also have the black scar band or the thorn band or whatever.
Okay. And before I do that, Eb, is there anything else you wanted to do? And we're gonna get to Aldris first. I just want to make sure so I can plan this out properly.
She's gone off to wander towards the. She's trying to find she's looking for stuff. She's doing stuff, but I'm good.
Okay. Wait, am I on? Okay, yeah, no, I'm good. Okay. So the thing was, Aldris, give me a perception check, I guess, real quick.
I love perceiving. It's one of my favorite things to do. Of course I get a nat 20 now.
Okay, so
So that's a 24 in total?
Yes. And that 20 is good. I think that I'm just going to say it with definity. Definity, is that a word? Definite clarity. There are no other scar bands of necromancy on the grounds. Not that you can see. And maybe we'll say, if you wanted to talk to Ricky, or we can say that in Eb's rundown of what she got from Nilly or Nissy, that the closest you could probably get to that would be the blue scar bands, where those are for heresy. But it seems that necromancy is far and few between. You could ask maybe where they go, and maybe why there is a few, but it's definitely not something that's common.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go up to the nearest person with heresy, and I'll introduce myself. I'll give them the handshake, and I'll ask why there's no one else with the black scar brand. I'm gonna pretend that I don't know what it means.
So you go up to the nearest person. It's shit. What are the tabaxi? It's a tabaxi with a blue scar band. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, hi. And they're gonna shake your hand. And you're gonna ask them, how do you phrase it exactly, if I can ask?
I was just noticing that it seems the system works by having different colors be associated with different crimes. But as far as I'm aware, I haven't seen anyone with the same band as mine, and they can see it because it would have been the hand I shook their hand with, which is
Right.
the left hand. But I haven't seen any of this color. Do you know what this is and where people, I guess, with this color go?
Geez. Well, I shouldn't talk to you for too long. Yeah, well, necromancers, just, we don't get a lot of them in general, and after that, I mean, some of them, if they piss other people off, they get beaten by the guards, or the vines take them away forever. And some of them just hear voices call to them, and we think they leave in the middle of the night to go to block 3, and we never hear from them again. So
That's horrifying. Oh my god.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's necromancy. It's pretty scary stuff.
No magic is inherently evil. It's what you do with it that matters.
I'm very conflicted at that statement because I've seen a lot of shit, man. But I did kind of have a similar belief, which is why I got here.
Great. I'm terribly sorry for you, and I'll stop putting your life in danger by talking to you.
Thank you.
Leave.
Thanks, man.
Oh, I don't want to listen to the voices in my head. That never ends well.
Yeah, voices upon voices upon voices. You're starting to get a whole choir in there. Oh boy. And I guess, yeah, we're gonna just start zooming out on that one thought that Eb had earlier about that one line that was finally referencing Athman's Inn of "I've got people," and what do you think Eb is thinking about as
Eb was referring to her army
move
of
on from the
enchanted
first period of
objects
the
and
day?
lockup.
Oh my god! I thought you were referring to Sin and Atham. I was surprised.
That was pretty obvious.
It's okay.
Pretty obvious.
I can cut this out. I can cut this part out if you still want it to be heartfelt.
I was talking about why we need to go to
I think that was
lockup.
pretty obvious when she wasn't.
Yeah,
No,
it was like,
no.
all of her spiritual sentient things are in there.
No, I absolutely understood this as I have to get out because I've got people on the outside, aka the rest of the party.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, that's what we were talking about too. When Rocky was like, Ricky. Sorry, not Rocky. I was thinking now I'm confusing Rocco and Ricky. Ricky was like, talking about getting out and like having help from the outside and stuff like that, and like maybe causing a riot or getting to outside. And Ed was like, "Don't worry about that. I've got people." And I was like, "Oh, she's referring to Adam and Sin, and we're gonna come and help her." That I'm assuming. Yeah, you haven't like thought of them at all. I was like, "Damn, like that's cold." Okay. Okay, never mind. Don't think about
not
this.
another word, not even acknowledging you.
I think is she frozen? She might be frozen
Well,
actually.
that could very well be the problem.
Nope. The phone is moving.
Is it? It's not for me.
Oh yeah, just barely.
Oh, wait, no, I did see her blink.
I'm not frozen.
Oh, Reese, how long have you been there? Oh, were you just silent that entire time and perfectly still? Jesus Christ. Was that intentional?
No.
That was impressive. Ah, damn it.
Just lie.
Yeah.
Just say it was. Who's
That
going
was
to stop you?
That was an incredibly intense stare. I gotta give you that. That was. I thought that was complete. What's it called? Don't do that. It's creepy. Scaring me. You can't creep me out. I heard we've heard you snort today, so that's fine. But for what's it called? Okay, so we want to zoom in on Eb though. What is she thinking of after all of this planning and whatnot? Before we zoom out to the clouds
her
and what?
Is like, bring it on. She's got a motive. It's an old-timey adventure. She's always wanted to prison break. And she's got motivation to get out. And all my other stuff.
Getting her ring of weaving back. It's true. That's true. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you got a lot of stuff to get back, and as we, that cool look of determination, that steely-eyed glare, of her shaking her head, like, oh yeah,
together.
It's prison break time. We're gonna zoom out of from Ev of the ocean, back throughout the clouds, and that's where we'll end today's session. Yeah, I mean, I gotta be. Well, here, hold on. I'm gonna take Craig. Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig.
See ya, Craig. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Yeah.